Santha and I spent 7 years of our lives scuba diving all around the world. You're coming across statues underwater, you're coming across columns underwater. It's just magical, diving on an underwater city.
For centuries, the lost city of Heracleion, or Thonis as it was known to the ancient Egyptians, was thought to be nothing more than a legend, hidden beneath the waves near the mouth of the Nile River, off the modern-day coast of Alexandria, Egypt. It was a city whispered about in a few rare inscriptions and ancient texts, until its discovery in the early 2000s.
You have to be careful when you look at underwater structures. You have to look at all the conditions that have led to their submergence.
Underwater archaeologist Frank Goddio and his team unveiled this submerged city, transforming it from myth to reality in a groundbreaking moment for archaeology. Heracleion was not just any city. It was a vital gateway to Egypt, a primary port for Greek trade before Alexandria took prominence. This bustling hub was alive with commerce, culture, and religion, serving as a significant center for the worship of the god Amun-Gareb.
The submergence of those sites is largely because of subsidence of land rather than sea level rise, because it's relatively recent.
Among its most revered ceremonies was the annual Mysteries of Osiris, celebrating the resurrection of Osiris.
But over here we have the god Osiris from Egypt, remembered by the ancient Egyptians as a bringer of the gifts of civilization, not only in Egypt, but in many other lands as well.
The artifacts and inscriptions recovered from beneath the waters tell tales of this grand city. Located about 6.5 kilometers off the coast, submerged under 30 to 45 feet of water, the ruins of Heracleion have yielded an astonishing array of artifacts. Giant statues towering over 5 meters high, beautifully carved and remarkably preserved in the silty seabed, depict Egyptian gods and goddesses alongside pharaohs and Greek rulers, a testament to the cultural melting pot that was Heracleion.
They came to Egypt and established religion by building primeval mounds up and down the Nile Valley.
Alongside these, gold coins and bronze and stone weights unearthed from the site offer glimpses into the trade networks and economic systems that underpinned the city's prosperity. Adding to the intrigue, archaeologists found dozens of small limestone sarcophagi, likely used for mummified animals brought as offerings, and the remains of over 64 ancient shipwrecks. These discoveries weave a narrative of a city where commerce and devotion to the gods were deeply entwined, a place of profound spiritual significance. Drawing parallels between Heracleion and the ancient city of Pompeii in Italy presents an interesting perspective on how natural disasters can both destroy and preserve. While Pompeii was buried in volcanic ash, Heracleion succumbed to rising waters and earthquakes. Yet both cities lay forgotten for centuries, their rediscoveries providing snapshots of ancient life. Pompeii offers a view of Roman life captured in ash, whereas Heracleion's story is told through artifacts preserved under the sea, offering unique insights into ancient Egyptian civilization. The ongoing exploration of Heracleion challenges our understanding of ancient history, shedding light on the interconnectedness of ancient civilizations. The city's artifacts and structures, now emerging from the depths, serve as a potent reminder of the fleeting nature of human achievements and the intricate tapestry of human history. Now moving on to another discovery. The submerged ruins of Cleopatra's palace offer a fascinating window into the past. This palace, once a bustling centre of political and cultural activity, was home to Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, known for her intelligence, political acumen, and captivating presence. The discovery of its ruins has thrilled historians and archaeologists, providing unprecedented insights into Cleopatra's era, a time marked by immense political power, cultural achievements, and architectural splendour. The underwater excavations at this site have been nothing short of a treasure trove, unearthing a wealth of artifacts that tell the story of life in ancient Alexandria. Among the hall are magnificent statues that might have once graced the palace and its surroundings, depicting Egyptian gods, Ptolemaic rulers, and possibly Cleopatra herself. These finds offer clues to the artistic and religious milieu of the period. The submerged structures, thought to include the palace's living quarters and ceremonial areas, and possibly even the fabled Pharos lighthouse, give us a glimpse into the architectural and urban planning styles of the time. Moreover, everyday items such as pottery, glassware, coins, and personal ornaments have been found, painting a vivid picture of both the domestic life within the palace and the bustling economic life of Alexandria. Cleopatra's Alexandria was a cosmopolitan beacon of trade, culture, and learning, hosting the Great Library and attracting scholars from across the ancient world. Cleopatra's reign represented the peak of Alexandria's development as a hub of Hellenistic culture, merging Egyptian traditions with those of Greece and Rome. The underwater discovery of the palace highlights Alexandria's significance in the ancient Mediterranean world. Drawing parallels with the sunken Roman city of Baiae in the Bay of Naples, both Cleopatra's palace and Baiae were epitomes of luxury and political clout of their times, reflecting the architectural tastes and wealth of their civilizations. While Baiae reveals much about Roman elite leisure and architectural innovation, the underwater ruins of Cleopatra's palace open a portal to the end of the Egyptian pharaoh's era, and the attempts by the Ptolemaic dynasty to synthesize Egyptian and Hellenistic cultures. The exploration of Cleopatra's palace continues to enrich our understanding of ancient Alexandria's pivotal role in the Mediterranean. It also offers a deeper look into the life and times of one of history's most enigmatic figures, Cleopatra VII, and the lavish lifestyle she led. The ruins serve as a poignant reminder of Alexandria's former glory and the fleeting nature of human achievements, standing as a testament to the transformative power of nature over history. Founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BC, the port of Alexandria quickly ascended to become one of the ancient world's most crucial trade hubs, buzzing with the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. Its prime location on the Mediterranean coast of Egypt established it as a pivotal connector of trade routes from Europe, Asia, and Africa, transforming it into a melting pot of global significance. The strategic and economic importance of the port was unparalleled, primarily serving as the vital conduit for Egypt's grain shipments to Rome, which was essential for the empire's stability. Among the marvels that made Alexandria famous was the Pharos lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Positioned on the island of Pharos, this engineering masterpiece not only guided ships safely into the harbour with its formidable light, but also symbolised the city's affluence and ingenuity. Although not directly linked to the port, the Great Library of Alexandria was another testament to the city's intellectual and cultural richness, drawing scholars and thinkers from across the globe. The royal quarters and palaces of Alexandria, including the Museion, home to the famed library, reflected the city's role as a beacon of Hellenistic culture and power. Meanwhile, underwater archaeology in the port area has unveiled a trove of artifacts, from ancient shipwrecks to everyday items, shedding light on the maritime practices of the time and the diversity of goods that flowed through Alexandria. The port was a linchpin in the ancient economy, bustling with the trade of grain, papyrus, glass, and precious metals, among other commodities. Its docks and warehouses were a hive of activity, indicative of a well-organized network that made Alexandria a cultural and economic bridge between various civilizations. The discovery of diverse ship remains and goods in Alexandria highlights its wider reach in the ancient trade world. The legacy of the port of Alexandria is monumental, influencing maritime trade, architecture, and culture well beyond its heyday. Ongoing archaeological work in the port area continues to enrich our understanding of the interactions, economies, and daily life of ancient civilizations. Its history serves as a powerful reminder of humanity's interconnectedness through time.
Discoveries of ancient civilizations in the jungle regions of the world have always fascinated archaeologists, historians. These finds often illuminate the complex societies that flourished in dense forest environments, revealing sophisticated cultures that mastered their challenging surroundings. The Maya civilization, one of the most notable ancient cultures of Central America, has left an indelible mark on modern understanding of pre-Columbian societies, thanks to the extensive discoveries of their cities, writings, and astronomical observatories. Spread across what is now Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador, their remarkable achievements in various fields continue to be a source of fascination and study. The Maya cities, such as Tikal in Guatemala, Palenque in Mexico, and Copan in Honduras, are celebrated for their sophisticated architecture that blends seamlessly with the natural landscape. Tikal, known for its towering pyramids like Temple 4, the tallest pre-Columbian structure in the Americas at over 64 meters in height, was a bustling metropolis and a political powerhouse. Palenque is famed for the Temple of the Inscriptions, which houses the tomb of the great ruler Tikal. This pyramid is a testament to the Mayans' mastery over their environment, utilizing the natural hillside for its construction. Copan, with its intricately carved stelae and the hieroglyphic stairway, showcases the detailed narrative of the Mayas' history and cosmology. These cities not only served as civic and religious centers, but also as reflections of the Mayas' deep understanding of urban planning and sustainable living within the dense jungles. The Maya script, consisting of over 800 hieroglyphs, is the only known fully developed writing system in the pre-Columbian Americas. This writing was crucial for the detailed recording of their history, astronomical observations, and complex calendar systems. The decipherment of Maya glyphs in the 20th century opened a window into the Maya civilization, revealing the dynastic politics, warfare, and trade networks that flourished among these city-states. Interestingly, the Dresden Codex, one of the few surviving pre-Columbian Maya books, contains extensive tables for predicting the movements of the Moon and Venus, highlighting their advanced mathematical systems. Sites like the Caracol Observatory in Chichen Itza exemplify the Mayas' sophisticated understanding of astronomy. The structure, with its unique circular design, allowed Maya astronomers to observe celestial events with remarkable accuracy. Their knowledge of the cosmos was so precise that they could predict solar eclipses and the cycles of Venus, which they believed was linked to the god Kukulkan. This advanced astronomical knowledge was integral to their agricultural practices, religious ceremonies, and the construction of their calendar system, which included the 260-day Tzolk'in and the 365-day Hab. The Great Blue Hole, a giant marine sinkhole off the coast of Belize, provides intriguing insights into the environmental practices and possible decline of the Maya civilization. Studies of sediment and mineral deposits from the hole suggest periods of severe droughts in the region, aligning with the theorized timeline of the Maya collapse around the 9th and 10th centuries. This natural phenomenon serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities of ancient civilizations to climate variability and change. One of the most captivating theories about the Maya civilization is related to their sudden decline and abandonment of cities in the 9th and 10th centuries. While overpopulation, warfare, and political instability undoubtedly played roles, recent evidence suggests that severe and prolonged droughts could have been a critical factor. This theory is supported by sediment and mineral analysis from bodies of water like the Great Blue Hole and Lake Chichen Kanab, which indicate significant reductions in rainfall during this period. The dependence of the Maya on rainwater for agriculture and daily life would have made such droughts catastrophic, potentially leading to widespread famine, social unrest, and the eventual collapse of many city-states. A fascinating comparison can be drawn between the Maya and the ancient Egyptians, particularly in their pyramid construction. While both civilizations built pyramids as monumental structures, their purposes and architectural styles were distinct. Egyptian pyramids, such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, served primarily as tombs for pharaohs and were constructed from massive limestone blocks. In contrast, Maya pyramids, often found at the heart of their cities, served as temples for worship and rituals, built with step sides and a temple at the top. This architectural difference reflects the contrasting religious and cultural practices of the two civilizations. The Inca Empire, a beacon of sophisticated engineering and profound cultural achievements, stretched across the Andean region, encompassing what we now recognize as parts of modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia. This vast empire, thriving in the 15th and early 16th centuries, showcased a remarkable integration of architecture, agriculture, and astronomy into the natural landscape, epitomized by its key discoveries that continue to captivate scholars and tourists alike. Machu Picchu, perched majestically in the Peruvian Andes, stands as a testament to Inca ingenuity. Rediscovered in 1911 by Hiram Bingham, this 15th-century citadel was built without the aid of wheels to transport heavy rocks or iron tools to carve them. The Incas employed a technique known as ashlar, where stones were cut to fit together without mortar so perfectly that not even a knife blade could fit between them. Intriguingly, Machu Picchu was built with a deep understanding of astronomy. Its Intihuatana stone accurately indicates the two equinoxes, twice a year when the sun sits directly over the stone, casting no shadow. Additionally, the placement of certain windows and doors aligns with astronomical events, suggesting a civilization deeply intertwined with the cosmos. The Inca Trail, a marvel of engineering, was part of an extensive network of paths, estimated to cover around 40,000 kilometers, linking the far reaches of the empire. This trail system not only facilitated rapid communication through relay runners, but also supported the movement of armies and goods, despite the challenging Andean terrain. The trail includes a series of stone steps, tunnels, and bridges, traversing through cloud forests and alpine tundras, highlighting the Incas' profound understanding of their environment and their ability to adapt their architectural techniques to the mountainous landscape. Sacsayhuaman, with its imposing walls made of massive stones, some weighing over 100 tons, is an architectural marvel located on the outskirts of Cusco. The precision with which these stones are cut and fitted together is so high that the seams between the stones are virtually imperceptible. This fortress, believed to represent the head of a puma, with Cusco forming the body. An interesting theory that has emerged about these structures, particularly Machu Picchu, is that it served as a royal estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti. Instead of being a defensive stronghold, it is theorized that Machu Picchu was a retreat symbolizing the power and prestige of the Inca ruler, strategically located to oversee the sacred landscape and align with key astronomical events, reinforcing the emperor's divine association with the sun god Inti. Comparing the Inca Empire's architectural feats to those of ancient Rome reveals a fascinating juxtaposition. While Roman architecture is renowned for its introduction of the arch, concrete, and extensive road networks that integrated the empire, the Incas achieved a comparable level of integration without these technologies. Their road networks, built in harmony with the natural terrain, and their structures, designed with an innate understanding of earthquake engineering, reflect a different kind of sophistication. Where Rome's architecture spoke to the empire's expansionist ethos and engineering innovation, Inca architecture communicated a deep reverence for the natural world and a desire to blend rather than dominate the landscape. These key discoveries within the Inca Empire offer a glimpse into a civilization that, despite lacking many of the technologies that are often associated with ancient architectural marvels, achieved an extraordinary harmony between their engineering, architectural feats, and the natural world.
And they were using an instrument called side-scan sonar, which sends out a beam down to the seabed. There was a higher level of civilization, perhaps much higher than we've expected.
The underwater city of Dwarka is not just an archaeological site, but a chapter from a saga that blends myth, legend, and historical facts into one fascinating tale. Often linked to the legendary city mentioned in the Mahabharata, an ancient Indian epic, the exploration of Dwarka is a perfect example of how ancient texts can align with modern scientific discoveries in marine archaeology. Known in ancient Indian scriptures as the gateway to heaven, Dwarka's story is wrapped in deep mythological significance with a rich historical backdrop. It's mentioned across various texts, including the Mahabharata, Bhagavata Purana, Vishnu Purana, and Harivamsa, where it's described as a city of magnificent scale and beauty, crafted by the divine architect Vishwakarma at Krishna's request. According to these texts, the city boasted 56,000 palaces made of crystal and silver, decked with emeralds and other precious stones, designed in 6 well-organized sectors with roads laid in grid patterns and enhanced with numerous reservoirs and gardens. As a bustling metropolis, Dwarka was a hub of profound Vedic learning, music, arts, and literature, similar to the economic and cultural dynamism seen in ancient Athens. The city also holds a mythical status due to its association with Lord Krishna, revered as a deity, king, strategist, and philosopher. This connection brought the city an almost divine repute, with Krishna's opulent palace shining bright, its walls inlaid with gold and precious stones, reminiscent of the mythical city of El Dorado. The city's dramatic end came after Krishna's departure, believed to have been submerged by the sea as a divine retribution by the sea god for the moral fall of its inhabitants, echoing the narrative of the biblical Great Flood intended to purge sin from the world. This cataclysmic event has rooted Dwarka in the collective memory as not only a symbol of prosperity and spiritual wisdom, an ideal society where material riches and spiritual enlightenment coexisted, but also as a cautionary tale of hubris. Archaeological findings over the years have only added layers to its mystique. Excavations and underwater studies have unearthed evidence of what many believe to be parts of the original majestic city. Stone anchors and remnants of potential public buildings or docks indicate a once thriving maritime trade, comparable to that of ancient Carthage, renowned for its naval supremacy. Moreover, the story of Dwarka often draws parallels with the legend of Atlantis, another advanced civilization believed to have met its end submerged under the ocean. Both cities are depicted in their respective lore as victims of their societal ego and moral decay, powerful societies that fell from grace, serving as moral lessons that prosperity can often lead to downfall if not handled with care. The story of the discovery and exploration of the ancient city of Dwarka opens a fascinating chapter in the field of underwater archaeology in India, linking mythological tales to historical evidence through its rich findings. The initial intrigue around Dwarka began as far back as the 1930s, when local fishermen and residents near what is now the town of Dwarka in Gujarat stumbled upon ancient pottery and other remnants either on the seashore or entangled in their fishing nets. These casual discoveries sparked a keen interest among local historians and archaeologists, further fueled by community stories of a grand city that thrived before being swallowed by the sea, tales that have been linked to the legendary figure of Lord Krishna. The systematic exploration of these underwater ruins started much later in the 1960s, when Dr. S.R. Rao from the Archaeological Survey of India took charge of the project. Often likened to Heinrich Schliemann, who famously excavated Troy, Rao brought an interdisciplinary approach to the excavation at Dwarka. He combined traditional archaeology with underwater diving and marine geology, a methodology that was pioneering at the time and set a new standard for underwater exploration globally. This extensive research led to the unearthing of a treasure trove of artifacts dating back to around 1500 BCE, indicative of a once thriving urban center. Among the findings were large stone structures and anchors, possibly used for docking ships, various styles of pottery ranging from domestic pots to larger storage jars used in trade, and numerous beads made from semi-precious stones, pointing to a bustling hub for trade and ornament manufacturing. The archaeological pursuits in Dwarka gained new momentum in the 1980s under the aegis of the Marine Archaeology Unit of the National Institute of Oceanography, India. These pioneering efforts were groundbreaking, not only for Indian archaeology but for the study of submerged cities worldwide. The detailed mapping and artifact recovery conducted then laid the groundwork for the comprehensive understanding of Dwarka's extensive and multifaceted past, drawing a vivid picture of its historical and cultural panorama. This ongoing journey into the heart of India's submerged heritage continues to shed light on the sophisticated urban planning and vibrant cultural life of ancient Dwarka, bridging the gap between ancient scripts and the tangible past. Exploring the ancient city of Dwarka didn't come without its challenges. The dive sites were beset by strong underwater currents and often suffered from poor visibility, which made the archaeological work particularly difficult. However, Dr. S.R. Rao and his team were determined and adapted to these harsh conditions with remarkable resilience. They developed innovative underwater archaeology techniques that allowed for detailed mapping and careful recovery of artifacts, setting a high standard for future excavations. Every item brought up from the depths was meticulously documented and preserved, creating a methodical record that would aid not just in the study of Dwarka, but also serve as a valuable reference for other underwater archaeology projects across the globe. These practices, refined during the Dwarka excavations, have had a lasting impact on how submerged artifacts are handled worldwide. The story of Dwarka's rediscovery and study often draws parallels with the underwater exploration of Alexandria in Egypt. Both cities were key maritime centers in their time and provided a wealth of archaeological treasures that included massive stone structures hinting at sophisticated urban planning. The work in Alexandria, led by Frank Goddio, mirrored Rao's efforts in many ways. Both teams used advanced diving and submersible technology to unravel the secrets of these ancient cities, pushing the boundaries of what could be achieved in underwater archaeology. Moreover, both cities hold places of deep cultural and historical significance in their respective mythologies. Dwarka as the city of Krishna and Alexandria for its pharaohs, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These explorations not only shed light on the physical layouts of these once thriving metropolises, but also offered insights into their cultural and historical contexts, enriching our understanding of ancient civilizations. The success of these underwater excavations has also sparked a renaissance in marine archaeology and brought educational and cultural enrichment. The artifacts and the findings from Dwarka have been incorporated into academic curricula and are regularly featured in public exhibitions, showcasing the intricate nature of urban planning and the vibrant cultural life that once characterized ancient Indian civilizations. Diving deep into the chronology and historical context of Dwarka through rigorous dating and analysis of its ruins has opened up new perspectives on this ancient urban center. The use of various carbon dating techniques on artifacts and structural remains from the underwater site has been particularly revealing, setting a timeline that suggests the city's oldest structures might date back to around 2000 BCE. Interestingly, these findings indicate that parts of Dwarka were thriving during what could be considered the mature Harappan period, aligning it with other great civilizations of the time like those in Egypt and Mesopotamia. Excavations have shown the city's development through multiple layers of urban settlement. The oldest of these layers display signs of sophisticated city architecture with advanced urban planning and hydraulic engineering typical of the Harappan civilization. The layers that followed tell a story of gradual architectural evolution and cultural continuity, evident in the changing styles of pottery and city layouts, suggesting a long history of human habitation. However, the exact nature of how these findings correlate with descriptions in ancient scriptures like the Mahabharata has been a hot topic of debate. Some of the unearthed structures loosely match the grand descriptions found in these texts, but the extent of their resemblance is still under scrutiny. Scholars are divided. Some suggest the ruins might not belong to the single legendary city of Dwarka as described in the texts, but rather to a series of cities built and destroyed over various epochs. Further discussions among archaeologists emphasize the city's significant role as a maritime hub. The discovery of extensive fortifications and valuable artifacts suggests that Dwarka was a center for trade, possibly connecting with other ancient civilizations across the Middle East and Africa. This is supported by findings like weights, measures, and ceilings that indicate a well-organized trade system, akin to those observed in ancient Mesopotamian sites. Drawing parallels with other legendary cities like Troy adds another layer to our understanding. Both Dwarka and Troy occupy iconic statuses in their respective cultural mythologies and have been subjects of archaeological studies that blend myth with reality. While Troy's excavations revealed insights into ancient Greek and Trojan lifestyles, the studies in Dwarka have illuminated aspects of late Harappan and post-Harappan cultures in India. The architectural differences are also stark. Troy is known for its massive defensive walls, whereas Dwarka's ruins reflect a preference for sophisticated urban planning and effective water management systems, showcasing different priorities and environmental adaptations between the two.
Nobody builds something that big underground just for fun. You don't do that unless you have to.
Right.
You don't burrow like a human ant nest.
Yeah. Human beings are so weird in so many ways.
Yes.
The story of the Longyu Caves discovery begins quite unassumingly with Wu Anai, a local farmer in the small village of Xianbeikun in Zhejiang province, China. This region, Picturesque with its lush landscapes and traditional farming, was not known for archaeological treasures.
It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
However, the persistent issue of a village pond that wouldn't dry up, despite extensive efforts to pump it for irrigation, piqued the curiosity of Wu and his neighbors. Determined to find the reason, they funded the use of rudimentary pumps, and after 17 days and over 20,000 cubic meters of water pumped out, they uncovered what appeared to be a man-made cavern entrance, revealing the first of the Longyu Caves, later dubbed Cave 1.
Someone made it, and it involved a very large amount of organized labor. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that.
This cave, an architectural wonder with exquisite hand-chiseled carvings, stairways and sturdy columns, was just the beginning. Word of this remarkable find spread rapidly across the region, capturing the imaginations of both the public and the academic world. The discovery was so stirring because of its unexpected nature and the sheer magnitude of the caves. Motivated by the initial find, the local community continued to fund the exploration, and by the end of 1992, 4 more caves had been identified.
There's a bunch of these things. There's a bunch of things like that. They're just like,
Each cave was unique in design and hinted at a sophisticated yet mysterious civilization that had left no other record behind. Recognizing the potential historical and cultural significance of these caves, the Chinese government quickly stepped in. They took measures to protect the site and supported further scientific studies to explore these enigmatic structures more thoroughly. This governmental intervention mirrored the actions taken after other major archaeological discoveries in China, such as the Terracotta Army, uncovered by local farmers in Shaanxi in 1974.
It's a wonderful mystery, and it deserves much further attention.
Both the Longyu Caves and the Terracotta Army were stumbled upon by locals engaged in ordinary tasks, yet these finds were anything but ordinary. The Terracotta Army, part of Emperor Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, features thousands of life-sized statues, each detailed with unique facial expressions and attire, clearly a tribute to the emperor's military forces. In contrast, the Longyu Caves, with their vast underground spaces expertly carved from solid rock, offer no such clues about their creators or their purpose, remaining shrouded in mystery.
We are just, I think, looking at the edges of a mystery. The archaeologists involved feel the same.
These discoveries significantly shifted our understanding of their respective eras. The Terracotta Army provided a window into the military aesthetics and rituals of the Qin dynasty, while the Longyu Caves have puzzled historians due to their lack of any historical documentation. Both sites have undergone intense scholarly scrutiny and ongoing research as experts from around the world try to uncover the secrets they hold and the stories they might tell about the ancient peoples of China. These caves were cleverly concealed by the mountainous landscape and dense vegetation, which likely played a role in keeping them hidden for centuries. The region's rocky terrain further protected these man-made wonders from natural erosive forces, preserving their pristine condition through the ages. Advancements in technology have significantly aided in the exploration and mapping of these caves. Techniques such as laser scanning and ground-penetrating radar have been crucial in providing detailed information about the cave's dimensions and layout. Initially, surveys indicated that the caves covered an area of approximately 30,000 square meters, but ongoing exploration might extend this figure as more sections are discovered. The architectural consistency observed across the Longyu Caves is truly remarkable. Despite varying sizes and designs, each cave exhibits uniform craftsmanship with flat bases for pillars and symmetrical spacing of architectural elements. This uniformity suggests they were likely constructed under the centralized direction of a single authoritative entity, possibly a local ruler or a unified government during that era. The choice of siltstone for construction, a material easier to carve than granite or basalt, allowed for the creation of smooth walls and intricate carvings, showcasing an advanced understanding of material properties and structural engineering. This is evident in the high ceilings supported by massive stone pillars designed to distribute weight evenly throughout the caverns. The caves are not only a feat of engineering but also of artistry. The internal structures include complex water channels that likely serve to prevent flooding and maintain a stable internal environment, alongside ornate gutters and meticulously carved bridges that enhance both the functionality and aesthetics of these spaces. The scale of excavation involved is staggering, with an estimated 1 million cubic meters of rock removed using basic iron or bronze tools. This massive endeavor would have required thousands of laborers over several decades, if not centuries, highlighting the significant human effort and organization required. Detailed examinations of the tool marks and techniques on the cave walls offer archaeologists valuable insights into the technological capabilities of the time. Furthermore, carbon dating of some cave sections indicates their construction dates back to at least the Eastern Zhou dynasty, over 2,000 years ago. This ancient origin adds to the mystery and allure of the caves. The Longyu Caves, with their vast chambers and no historical records to explain their construction, have sparked a plethora of theories about their original purpose. One popular theory is that the caves were used as ancient storage silos. Researchers supporting this idea point to the stable temperature and humidity levels inside the caves, conditions ideal for storing perishables. The interior layout, featuring platforms and ledges, seems perfect for organizing goods, while the intricate water management systems might have been designed to control moisture levels, ensuring that stored items remained preserved. Another theory suggests that these caves served as royal tombs or burial sites for nobility. This wouldn't be out of place in ancient traditions worldwide, where elaborate resting places were often constructed for the elite. The extensive labor and detailed craftsmanship involved in creating the Longyu Caves imply they were built for significant individuals. However, the complete absence of artifacts or human remains commonly found in other tombs casts doubt on this theory. Some believe the caves had a religious or ceremonial purpose, considering how their secluded and quiet interiors would be suitable for spiritual activities. This aligns with the global historical trend of using caves for such purposes. The uniform design and orientation of the caves could suggest they were specifically planned for processions or religious ceremonies, although the lack of religious symbols or artifacts challenges this theory. A more practical perspective is that the caves were quarries. The theory posits that the caves were originally mined for stone, used in early Chinese imperial construction projects, though it doesn't account for why the stone wasn't used in any known structures nearby. Lastly, a more speculative idea is that the caves functioned as ancient astronomical observatories. Some suggest that the orientation of tunnels and openings within the caves aligns with specific celestial events, much like other historic astronomical sites.
But what's fascinating about them is this very powerful geometry and astronomy.
This would imply a sophisticated understanding of the stars by the creators of the Longyu Caves, though hard evidence for this theory is still lacking. When we compare the architectural marvels of the Longyu Caves in China with Petra in Jordan, also known as the Rose City, we dive into a fascinating study of ancient ingenuity and artistic mastery. Petra's structures are famously carved into the blush-colored sandstone cliffs, reflecting the elaborate and ornate aesthetic of the Nabateans around the 5th century BCE. Its most iconic structure, the treasury, is a perfect example of this, with a facade that is both monumental and intricately detailed, highlighting the peak of Nabatean craftsmanship. In contrast, the Longyu Caves are sculpted from siltstone, a material that presents different challenges and opportunities for the carvers. The finer grain of siltstone allowed ancient workers to achieve smooth finishes and sharp details in the cave walls and columns, offering a different kind of beauty from Petra's elaborate sandstone carvings. Unlike Petra's diverse architectural purposes, the Longyu Caves exhibit a uniform design across all the caverns, suggesting they were built with a singular purpose or design philosophy in mind. Both Petra and the Longyu were lost to the world until their relatively recent rediscovery. Petra was brought back into the public consciousness in 1812 by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, and since then it has reshaped much of our understanding of Middle Eastern history. Despite the grandeur and historical significance of both sites, they share a profound mystery: the absence of detailed historical records explaining their construction. While Petra does have some inscriptions and texts that offer minimal insights, the Longyu Caves are surrounded by complete silence in historical records, with no writings found to date that reference their creation. This lack of documentation has left historians and archaeologists piecing together clues and forming theories that range from practical to speculative in an effort to understand these magnificent constructions.
Are we secure on the dating of all the structures above water on Malta? And I suggest strongly that we're not.
Yeah.
There are very few carbon dates from Malta, and the new dating work that's been done there hasn't added usefully to that database. Been very little carbon dating done on the Maltese temples. And that carbon dating is itself insecure. Malta used to be joined to Sicily during the Ice Age. Malta wasn't an island, it was part of the mainland.
Yeah.
Imagine standing before structures that predate the Great Pyramids and Stonehenge, shrouded in mystery and built by a civilization lost to time.
I believe that's the time where we lost track of an episode in our story, where we lost track of an earlier civilization.
Welcome to the megalithic temples of Malta, some of the oldest freestanding structures on Earth. These architectural marvels are not only masterpieces of ancient engineering, but also portals into the past of a sophisticated society whose understanding of astronomy continues to intrigue scholars and scientists.
A deep understanding of astronomy that could only be gained through hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years of very careful observation.
Join us as we explore the secrets these stone giants hold, revealing insights into a world both ancient and astonishingly advanced. Despite their historical and architectural significance, these ancient temples were not recognized for their true value until the late 19th century. Before this period, local awareness of their antiquity was minimal, and preservation was not considered a priority. Throughout earlier centuries, the temples suffered from local farming and building practices that led to significant deterioration. Stones from these structures were frequently removed and repurposed for new construction projects.
A lot of archaeology that gets done doesn't get done because of a targeted search. It may be because a dam is being built or a new highway is being built.
The first documented mention of the temples appeared in Jean-Quentin d'Autin's 1536 publication Insulae Militae Descriptio, which noted the existence of ancient ruins on Malta, though detailed archaeological interest would only take shape much later. Dating from 3600 BC to 2500 BC, these temples are older than both Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids. Recognizing their profound historical and cultural significance, several of the temples were designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 1980. This recognition was a crucial step in ensuring their preservation and promoting further scholarly research and public awareness. Systematic studies and excavations of these sites began in earnest in the early 20th century with Sir Themistocles Zamet, a man of many talents including archaeology, medicine, history, and curation. Starting around 1905, Zamet's extensive archaeological work marked a significant pivot towards the scientific exploration of these structures. His efforts established a chronological framework for the construction and usage of the temples, greatly enhancing our understanding of prehistoric Maltese culture.
The lost civilization of prehistoric antiquity.
Zamet's findings not only attracted international scholarly interest, but also helped increase tourism, bringing additional funding and support for further studies. Among his discoveries were numerous artifacts, including pottery, tools, and the iconic Fat Lady figurines, thought to represent a fertility goddess or a maternal figure. Continuing from the fascinating historical backdrop and archaeological discoveries, the megalithic temples of Malta are not just ancient architectural marvels. They are sophisticated structures that intricately reflect the socio-religious fabric of the society that constructed them. Their design demonstrates an advanced knowledge of stonework and astronomy. The temples are renowned for their unique trefoil layout, which consists of 3 semicircular chambers connected by a central corridor. This design is not only unique to Maltese temple architecture, but is also laden with symbolic meanings. It could represent various stages of life, celestial bodies, or deities from local mythology, with the repetition of the number 3 perhaps signifying a sacred or divine principle in their cosmology. Functionally, these chambers likely serve diverse ritualistic or communal purposes, each possibly dedicated to different aspects of life or deities. The layout itself facilitates processional movements, which are believed to have been part of the ritual activities conducted within these sacred spaces. Moreover, the orientation and layout of the temples are marked by astronomical precision. For instance, the Manadra South Temple aligns with the equinox sunrise, allowing light to flood the main corridor and central chambers at specific times of the year. This dramatic interplay of light and shadows could have been crucial for marking seasonal changes and regulating ceremonial calendars.
There was a highly sophisticated knowledge of the precession of the equinoxes, that it's impossible to trace how far back it goes.
The choice of temple locations also takes into account visual and environmental factors, such as line of sight to important landscape features, horizon visibility for astronomical observations, and protection from prevailing winds, showing a sophisticated integration of architecture with the natural landscape. The structural engineering techniques used in the temples also reveal the builders' innovative approaches. The use of corbelling, where stones are laid horizontally and each successive layer extends slightly beyond the one below, allowed the creation of self-supporting domed or vaulted structures. This early form of arch construction, predating Roman arches, illustrates their advanced engineering capabilities. Additionally, the flexibility inherent in the corbelling and the interlocking of megaliths without mortar could have provided some resistance to seismic activity, an important consideration given Malta's location within the Mediterranean seismic belt. The decorative elements of the temples further enrich their architectural sophistication. Elaborate carvings and reliefs, including spirals, animal figures, and plant motifs, are deeply engraved into the limestone. These decorations are not merely ornamental, they are imbued with symbolic meanings, possibly representing fertility, the cycle of life, or a connection to nature. Artifacts such as the famous Fat Lady sculptures and other statuettes found in and around the temples suggest that these sites also served as focal points for art and culture. Additionally, traces of red ochre found on some temple walls indicate that color was used either to enhance certain carvings or to demarcate special areas within the temples, adding another layer to the sophisticated aesthetic and ceremonial aspects of the temple architecture. The construction techniques used in the megalithic temples of Malta further highlight the advanced engineering of their creators. The construction of these ancient temples showcases an exceptional mastery of various techniques that have contributed to their preservation through millennia.
I can't help thinking time capsule, that there was an intention to preserve this.
One of the most critical materials in the construction of these temples is Globigerina limestone, a sedimentary rock predominant in the Maltese archipelago. Notably soft when freshly quarried, this limestone allowed artisans to carve intricate details and shape the stones with relative ease. As the limestone is exposed to air, it undergoes a hardening process due to the gradual evaporation of inherent moisture and crystallization of minerals. This transformation significantly enhances the resilience and longevity of the structures.
It's called Derinkuyu, and it's a marvel of engineering. The bottom line here is, just to throw it out there, they don't know who built it.
It is first referenced all the way back in 370 BC. Graham Hancock, it is also speculated by people such as him and others that this was a place where people who were living took shelter from the Ice Age.
The most important issue to me is the issue of a global cataclysm at the end of the Ice Age. What caused that cataclysm is a secondary issue. The cataclysm itself is the primary issue.
Imagine stumbling across a hidden door in your home that leads to an ancient underground city, extending deep into the Earth's crust and sprawling enough to shelter tens of thousands of people.
Just to put things into perspective, if you travel underground in Derinkuyu from end to end, you're gonna walk 4 miles.
This isn't the plot of an Indiana Jones movie. It's the real-life discovery of Derinkuyu, the largest underground city in Turkey's historical region of Cappadocia. Carved from the soft volcanic rock and buried in secrecy, this subterranean labyrinth was not only a marvel of ancient engineering, but a crucial fortress in times of danger. This area is known for its soft volcanic rock formations called tuff, which are relatively easy to carve and were crucial in the development of numerous underground dwellings, with Derinkuyu being the most extensive. The city was rediscovered in 1963 by accident when a local man, during home renovations, knocked down a wall to find a passage leading to this vast ancient network.
And he took a sledgehammer to one of the walls, and when the walls came down, he saw that it was an opening into a cave.
This discovery unveiled a complex that extends more than 85 meters below the Earth's surface, hidden under what was thought to be just a typical Turkish rural settlement.
He had come to an opening where there were several other passages that he could take. And then he said, you know what, this is a little bit too much. So he ended up calling the authorities.
The origins of Derinkuyu are shrouded in mystery, but it is widely believed that the Phrygians, an ancient Indo-European people, initiated its construction in the 8th to 7th centuries BCE. Over the centuries, various groups expanded it, especially during the Byzantine era as a sanctuary from the 7th to the 11th centuries, amidst the Arab-Byzantine wars. The city served as a formidable refuge from Muslim-Arab incursions, capable of sheltering up to 20,000 people along with their livestock and supplies for extended periods. The city's architecture can be compared to that of a massive ancient submarine nestled under the rock, designed to be airtight and self-sufficient, mirroring a submarine's ability to provide safety against external perils with its life support systems. Derinkuyu is equipped with air shafts for ventilation and water wells that supported life independently from the outside world, protecting its inhabitants from the threats of war and invasion. The engineering marvel of Derinkuyu is as ingenious as it is expansive. The entire city was manually carved from volcanic rock, with corridors strategically designed to maximize space and functionality. It features everything necessary for prolonged underground life, including stables, churches, schools, and multiple storerooms.
The fact that they found a chapel gave to the theory that Christians were hiding there.
These spaces not only served their primary functions, but also doubled as meeting halls, illustrating a well-organized community capable of thriving under the surface. The city's layout and the architectural choices made reflect a profound understanding of both defensive strategy and urban planning, making Derinkuyu a fascinating study in ancient engineering and survival tactics. Continuing from the initial exploration of Derinkuyu's incredible architecture and its rediscovery, it's fascinating to delve deeper into the structural intricacies that make it a marvel of ancient engineering. The grandeur of Derinkuyu isn't just in its vast size. The sophisticated design carved from the region's soft volcanic rock showcases its complexity. The city extends about 85 meters underground and is capable of accommodating up to 20,000 people along with their livestock and essential supplies. The city is structured across 18 levels with only 8 open to the public. These levels are interlinked by miles of tunnels, each meticulously designed for both functionality and defense. The effort required to excavate and shape this massive subterranean complex is reminiscent of the monumental work seen in the Great Pyramids of Egypt, highlighting the extraordinary capabilities of ancient civilizations with limited technological means.
That actually is one of the moments when I realized how difficult the Great Pyramid must have been to build. With all the blocks and supposedly a huge workforce, so whatever the Egyptologists imagined was done, and I don't believe anybody knows how it was done.
Yeah.
One of the most pivotal features of Derinkuyu is its ventilation system, which includes over 15,000 narrow ducts, ensuring that fresh air circulates even to the lowest depths. This advanced engineering is akin to modern skyscraper technologies used to manage airflow efficiently across large buildings. Security was also a key element in the city's design. The narrow entrances forced individuals to bend while navigating the tunnels, a strategic choice that limited easy access by invaders. These could be further secured by large stone doors, which could be rolled across to block the passages, much like bunker doors in contemporary military uses. The internal layout of Derinkuyu suggests a highly organized society was at work here. The city included residential areas, communal spaces, stables, and ample storage facilities for food and wine, indicating a complex communal life that could be compared to modern cooperative living communities. Moreover, the sophisticated water system featuring an extensive network of wells and channels not only provided fresh water, but also protected its inhabitants from external threats, much like the aqueducts of ancient Rome. Religious and ceremonial sites were central to life in Derinkuyu. Numerous chapels and churches were intricately carved into the rock, replete with altars and baptismal fonts. The largest chapel, with a cruciform design at the city's deepest level, echoes the secretive religious practices of early Christians in the Roman catacombs, serving both as places of worship and safe havens. In this way, Derinkuyu was not just a place of refuge, but a beacon of ancient innovation, reflecting the depth of human creativity and resilience. Through its architectural wonders, this underground city continues to reveal the complexities of ancient life and the advanced understanding of urban planning and design that characterized early civilizations. Continuing the exploration of Cappadocia's fascinating underground cities, let's turn our attention to Kaymakli, which shares many historical similarities with Derinkuyu, yet presents a unique architectural narrative. Both cities date back to the 7th and 8th centuries BCE and are carved from the region's soft volcanic rock, known as tuff. This material has been integral to the development of the extensive subterranean networks for which the area is famous. However, Kaymakli differentiates itself by spreading more extensively across a horizontal plane rather than delving deeper into the earth, indicating a different approach in its architectural design and strategic planning. Kaymakli's layout is an architecturally sophisticated network spread over 8 levels, though today, only 4 of these levels are open to visitors. The city's extensive horizontal spread creates a labyrinthine network of tunnels and rooms that have been strategically designed to enhance defensive capabilities. The maze-like passageways and narrow tunnels are particularly noteworthy as they restrict movement and effectively force potential invaders to move in single file. This design not only made it easier to defend the city, but also demonstrated a highly advanced understanding of urban planning and warfare strategy. By incorporating such intricate defense mechanisms directly into the city's architecture, Kaymakli's builders ensured that their city was not just a place to live, but a fortress capable of withstanding potential sieges. Through its sprawling tunnels and smartly designed bottlenecks, this underground city exemplifies the incredible ingenuity of ancient Cappadocian civilizations in adapting their urban constructions to meet both the needs of their communities and the demands of their security. Building on the fascinating historical...
I call us a species with amnesia because I think we've lost our memory of an entire episode of human history just being wiped completely from our memory. And until we recover our memory of that lost episode of human civilization, we will not be complete ourselves. We need to know who we are and where we came from.
In the rugged landscapes of southwestern Turkey, the Lycian civilization remains one of history's mysterious marvels, famed for its breathtaking stone-carved tombs and complex societal structures.
I think we're looking at hints and clues that something is missing in our story.
But how did this ancient culture achieve such architectural feats, intricately carving entire complexes directly into sheer cliffs? As we delve into the ruins of Xanthos, Klos, and Mycenae, we uncover not only the technical prowess, but also the profound myths that propelled Lycia beyond mere survival, embedding it deeply in the tapestry of human heritage.
Again, unfortunately, archaeologists largely sneer at myth. But I think the myths of the world, those that have survived, are the Hall of Records of the lost past.
Nestled along the rugged southwestern coast of Turkey, Lycia is a region framed by mountainous terrain, dense forests and steep cliffs, which not only made it difficult to access, but also helped preserve its rich and distinct identity. This isolation meant that Lycia developed somewhat independently of its neighbors, cultivating a unique historical footprint that remained largely untouched until European explorers stumbled upon it. The first accounts of Lycia's mysterious ruins surfaced during the 18th century, when travelers like the French explorer Charles Texier and the English archaeologist Richard Pocock documented the extensive ruins, rock-cut tombs, and grand sarcophagi that dotted the landscape. Their writings sparked a wave of curiosity and set the stage for more focused explorations.
If you wish to pass information to a distant future, you wouldn't be smart to just write it down. How can we know that our script is going to be readable by any other culture, let's say 10,000 years in the future?
One of the pivotal figures in Lycian studies was Charles Fellows, an English archaeologist whose expedition in 1838 marked a turning point in uncovering the past of this enigmatic civilization. Driven by fascinating tales of remarkable ruins, Fellows undertook a systematic exploration of the region, meticulously mapping the area and documenting numerous sites. His work wasn't just about identifying locations, he detailed everything from the friezes and tombs to the fortresses he encountered, providing a comprehensive look at the remnants of Lycian society. This thorough documentation played a crucial role in introducing Lycian civilization to the broader academic world and eventually led to the first official archaeological excavations under the auspices of the British government.
The second issue with ruling out completely the possibility of a lost civilization is that archaeology sets itself up as the sole arbiter as to what is and what is not evidence.
Through Fellows' dedicated efforts, the wonders of Lycia were brought into the limelight, revealing a civilization that had mastered the art of building in harmony with its challenging landscape. During his explorations, Charles Fellows unearthed several significant sites that continue to shed light on the ancient civilization of Lycia. Xanthos, the once flourishing capital, stands as a monumental testament to Lycian culture, blending funerary architecture that tells tales of a society rich in traditions and artistic expression. Among its most notable structures is the Nereid monument, an elaborate tomb from around 400 BC, named after the sea nymphs that adorn its friezes. The detailed bas-reliefs depicting humans and gods illustrate a cosmopolitan blend of Lycian and Hellenistic styles, making Xanthos a treasure trove for historians and archaeologists alike. The site also boasts ruins of an acropolis, several Byzantine churches, and unique pillar tombs, offering a vivid glimpse into the past.
There are unexplained issues in our past, which are presently not explained by the system that teaches us about the past.
Moving on to Tlos, this city is another jewel in Lycia's archaeological crown, famed for its extensive tombs and a well-preserved acropolis. Perched on a rocky outcrop, the acropolis provided strategic views and served as a formidable fortress through various epochs, including Lycian, Roman, and Ottoman times. One of the city's most captivating tales revolves around the legendary hero Bellerophon, who, according to myth, tamed the winged horse Pegasus. His supposed tomb, marked by a striking relief of this mythical scene, highlights the fascinating intermingling of myth and mortuary traditions in Lycian culture. Tlos also featured a plethora of architectural wonders like an ancient theatre, Roman baths, and a stadium, underscoring its significance as a cultural and administrative hub. Further exploring the region, Mycenae, though less documented than Xanthos and Tlos, is critically important for understanding Lycian burial customs. The intricately carved tombs here are not just architectural feats, but also serve as a canvas for rich narrative reliefs and inscriptions in the Lycian language. These inscriptions are invaluable, providing insights into the social structures, laws, and daily life of the Lycian people, and offering a profound perspective on their linguistic and cultural landscape. Each of these sites, discovered or studied extensively by Fellows, continues to offer invaluable insights into the ancient world, revealing the complexity and richness of Lycian society. When exploring the ancient burial practices of the Lycians in sites such as Xanthos, Tlos, and Mycenae, a fascinating contrast emerges with Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Both regions are renowned for their elaborate tombs designed to honor the deceased, yet they embody profoundly different architectural styles and cultural philosophies. The Valley of the Kings, with its subterranean tombs, was crafted to prepare for the afterlife and separate the dead from the living, reflecting a focus on the otherworldly.
The Book of What is in the Duat, which you will find painted on the walls of many of the tombs in the Valley of the Kings.
In stark contrast, Lycian tombs are monumental and highly visible within the landscape, signifying a different approach to death and remembrance where the dead remain a part of the community's everyday life, visible and integrated within their environment. The pivotal explorations by Charles Fellows not only brought these Lycian sites to the broader attention of the world, but also secured crucial interest and funding from institutions like the British Museum. His initial expeditions in the 1840s, sanctioned by the British government, eventually led to the transportation of significant artifacts, including pieces from the Nereid monument back to England. These artifacts would later become central exhibits at the British Museum, sparking debates about cultural heritage and the ethics of artifact repatriation. Fellows detailed his adventures and findings in An Account of Discoveries in Lycia, a publication that not only catalogued his discoveries, but also offered insights into the potential connections between the Lycian script and the early Greek alphabet. This hinted at a rich cultural interchange between the Lycians and their Greek neighbors, providing a deeper understanding of their interactions. The discoveries in Lycia filled significant gaps in our understanding of the Eastern Mediterranean's historical dynamics during antiquity, revealing a civilization that, while under the influence of Greek and Persian empires, forged a unique identity that integrated these influences into a distinct cultural and political framework. The architectural legacy of Lycia offers a fascinating glimpse into the region's unique identity and historical interactions. Among the most striking features of this heritage are the Lycian funerary monuments, particularly the rock-cut tombs that blend local and external influences beautifully. These tombs, intricately carved directly into the limestone cliffs of Lycia, often take the form of small temples or mimic traditional Lycian wooden houses, complete with detailed pediments, columns, and reliefs. The styles reflect both Greek and Persian influences, yet they maintain distinctive Lycian characteristics, portraying a society that was receptive to external ideas while fiercely preserving its independence. The house-type tombs, for instance, replicate the facades of Lycian wooden homes, featuring pseudo-beams and gabled roofs that echo the domestic architecture of the era. On the grander side, temple-type tombs imitate Greek temples with their intricate Ionic or Doric columns and richly decorated friezes, illustrating the cultural exchange between the Lycians and the Greeks. A prime example of this architectural marvel is the tomb of Amyntas in modern-day Phthia, dating back to the 4th century BC. This tomb stands out for its grand scale and detailed design, resembling a temple facade with 2 Ionic columns supporting a large pediment. The pediment and the tomb's inner chamber showcase the exquisite Lycian craftsmanship, adept at manipulating the region's limestone. An inscription in Lycian script above the doorway, identifying the tomb as the resting place of Amyntas, son of Hermagios, provides valuable insights into the personal identities and social structures of ancient Lycia. An interesting parallel can be drawn between the rock-cut tombs of Lycia and the renowned Nabatean city of Petra in Jordan. Both civilizations crafted elaborate structures into sheer rock faces, primarily for use as tombs or religious sites. While Petra is famous for its monumental scale and blend of Eastern and Hellenistic architectural styles, Lycian tombs are typically more modest in scale, but equally intricate in detail. Unlike Petra's tombs, which are part of a broader urban landscape, Lycian tombs are often standalone monuments set in remote cliff faces. As excavations in the region continue, archaeologists are moving beyond these iconic tombs to uncover urban centers, religious sanctuaries, and domestic structures, painting a fuller picture of daily life in ancient Lycia. Concurrently, there are ongoing efforts to preserve these deteriorating stone monuments, which are vulnerable to environmental and human-induced damage. The continued study of Lycia is reshaping historical narratives about the interactions between the Greek and Persian worlds, particularly through its unique blend of art and political structures, showing how Lycian culture managed to bridge East and West while maintaining a distinct identity.
This is our planet, beautiful planet from a Russian satellite as it looks today, but it hasn't always looked like that. How can we possibly get to grips with our past if we don't take account of the fact that we've lost 10 million square miles of the record?
The discovery of Easter Island by European explorers is a story filled with intrigue and remarkable historical details. It was the Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen who first came upon Easter Island on a quest for the mythic southern continent. His arrival on the island, which coincided with Easter Sunday in 1722, led to its modern name. Roggeveen, commanding a fleet of 3 ships, the Arend, Tienhoven, and Afrikansche Galie, was the first to document the mysterious Moai statues and the island's sparse vegetation. The statues, massive and imposing, puzzled Roggeveen and his crew, who wondered about the methods the islanders used to transport these colossal figures, given the apparent lack of sufficient timber or robust ropes. The name Easter Island reflects a common practice of the time, naming newly discovered lands based on significant events or days, which also expanded European maps of the Pacific and fueled further exploration and eventual colonization of these remote areas. Easter Island's discovery not only marked a major geographical milestone, but also piqued European interest in the Pacific Islands. Easter Island's extreme remoteness is one of its most fascinating aspects. Located in the southeastern Pacific Ocean, it is one of the most isolated inhabited islands on Earth. The original settlers, the Polynesians, were skilled navigators who likely arrived around 1200 CE. This isolation had a profound effect on the island's ecology and culture. Initially rich in flora, human settlement led to significant deforestation, altering the island's ecological balance. Over centuries, the isolation shaped a unique cultural evolution, marked by distinct architectural and artistic achievements, including the creation of the moai. These statues were not merely artistic expressions, but were integral to the social and religious life on the island, embodying ancestors and serving as protectors of the communities. Moreover, the island's location made it an ideal place for astronomical observations. The Rapa Nui, like other Polynesians, were adept at celestial navigation, using the stars to guide their way across vast oceanic distances. This skill underscores the significant navigational capabilities required to reach such a remote destination and maintain a society there. A comparison that highlights the extent of Easter Island's isolation involves Tristan da Cunha in the South Atlantic Ocean. Like Easter Island, Tristan da Cunha is extremely remote, located over 2,400 kilometers from the nearest continent, Africa. However, Easter Island's isolation is even more pronounced, with its closest inhabited neighbor, Pitcairn Island, over 2,000 kilometers away, and the nearest continental point in Chile nearly double that distance. This comparison not only emphasizes the vast distances involved, but also the remarkable navigational skills that allowed the Polynesians to settle and thrive on Easter Island, profoundly shaping its unique cultural and ecological development through centuries. The moai statues of Easter Island are not only a testament to the island's rich cultural heritage, but also stand as some of the most iconic archaeological features in the world. These statues were primarily carved from volcanic tuff, a type of compressed volcanic ash sourced from Rano Raraku, a volcanic crater which doubled as a quarry. This material, though softer and easier to carve, required delicate handling to avoid damage. The native carvers used tools made from a harder type of rock, basalt, known locally as toki, to shape these magnificent figures. The diversity in size and design of the nearly 900 moai is striking. They range from modest figures about 1 meter tall to towering giants that reach up to 10 meters and weigh over 80 tons. Some of the unfinished statues at the quarry suggest that the moai could have reached even greater sizes, with the largest estimated to be about 21 meters tall. These statues were not just isolated pieces of art, but were typically mounted on stone platforms called ahu, which lined the island's coastline. Far from mere pedestals, these ahu were sacred sites, often embedded with burial chambers for the elite, and were central to the spiritual and communal life of the Rapa Nui people. Interestingly, not all moai face inland. While the majority do, overseeing the villages and supposedly watching over their inhabitants, some face the ocean. This orientation may have had different symbolic or practical purposes, such as marking territorial boundaries or serving as navigational aids. The most spiritually significant aspect of the moai was their eyes, made from coral with either obsidian or red scoria pupils, inserted only during special ceremonies to imbue the statues with mana, a spiritual force believed to protect and benefit the community. These imposing figures represented the deified ancestors of the Rapa Nui, believed to provide spiritual strength and maintain a connection with the spirit world. More than mere representations, the moai were considered actual embodiments of these ancestors, imbued with a potent presence. The construction and erection of these statues likely served a competitive function among the island's various tribal groups, with leaders, known as ariki, sponsoring these statues to establish and legitimize their authority and to demonstrate their ability to mobilize community resources. Moreover, the moai played a significant role in unifying the island's population, with shared religious beliefs and communal participation in their construction and transport reinforcing social cohesion and cultural identity. It is enlightening to compare these statues to the colossal heads sculpted by the Olmec civilization in Mesoamerica. Like the moai, the Olmec heads were massive stone sculptures representing human faces, carved between 900 BCE and 400 BCE. These heads are believed to portray rulers or other significant figures, fulfilling roles of political or religious symbolism similar to those of the Moai. Despite being created by cultures separated by thousands of kilometers and many centuries, both the Moai and the Olmec heads underscore the universal use of monumental statuary to express power, authority, and religious significance across disparate human societies. This comparison highlights the remarkable ways in which different cultures have utilized monumental sculpture to convey and preserve their legacies. The Moai statues of Easter Island are not only a testament to the island's past civilizations, but also a window into the impressive capabilities and daunting challenges faced by the Rapa Nui people. These iconic statues were meticulously carved from volcanic tuff, a material sourced from the Rano Raraku quarry. Artisans used basalt stone tools to carefully outline and then gradually detach the Moai from the rock face, a painstaking process that could span months or even years depending on the statue's size. Transporting these colossal figures to their final resting places on the island's Ahu was an engineering feat that continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists today. Several theories have been proposed about how the Rapa Nui might have moved the Moai. One theory suggests the use of wooden rollers, which would have required significant deforestation. Another posits that the statues were placed on sledges that slid over logs or greased wooden tracks. However, perhaps the most captivating theory is that the statues were walked to their locations using ropes in a rocking motion, a method supported by recent experimental archaeology. These experiments have successfully demonstrated that a replica Moai could be moved by a few dozen people using ropes, providing evidence that this could explain the minimal wear on the bases of transported statues and the absence of extensive drag marks. As the demand for larger and more statues grew, the environmental impact became increasingly severe. The extensive use of wood for transport methods contributed to deforestation, exacerbating soil erosion and reducing the island's capacity to build canoes, essential for fishing and transportation. This environmental strain, coupled with intense social demands to build and transport these massive figures, likely put considerable stress on the social fabric of the island, intensifying competition among clans and leading to conflicts and warfare. The situation worsened with the arrival of Europeans in the 18th century, who brought with them diseases to which the Rapa Nui had no immunity. This, along with the removal of some Moai by European explorers and colonists, severely impacted the island's demographic and cultural landscape. Amidst these challenges, an interesting theory emerged suggesting that the construction of the Moai was a form of ecological overreach. This theory posits that the competitive construction of ever larger statues led to unsustainable practices, such as the overharvesting of essential natural resources. This ecological overreach may have triggered a vicious cycle of environmental degradation, resource shortages, social upheaval, and population decline, serving as a stark reminder of the potential consequences when cultural ambitions clash with environmental limits. This narrative underscores the delicate balance between cultural achievements and ecological sustainability, a balance that, once lost, can lead to the decline of an entire civilization.
We're talking about something that happened between 12,800 and 11,600 years ago. There's no doubt, I don't think anybody could seriously dispute that the episode called the Younger Dryas was a global cataclysm on an enormous scale, and that it led to the extinction of the megafauna, all the megafauna of the Ice Age, all those iconic animals, the mammoths, the mastodons, the giant sloths, the woolly rhinos.
Imagine a world before our own, inhabited by advanced antediluvian civilizations that vanished beneath the waves of a cataclysmic flood. Did these pre-flood societies possess knowledge far beyond our current understanding? Were they perhaps genetically distinct beings, giants who walked the earth as ancient texts suggest? Today, as we stand before colossal megalithic structures, inexplicable with modern engineering knowledge, we must ask ourselves, what secrets did these early civilizations hold? Join us as we delve into the mysteries of these lost worlds, exploring the possibility that our ancestors were not just like us, but were part of a much grander and more mystifying past. When we hear antediluvian, we often think of a period steeped in myth and legend, predating the biblical flood described in Genesis. This term not only captures the essence of ancient pre-flood times, but also conjures images of lost civilizations shrouded in mystery and advanced beyond our comprehension. Among these, the story of Atlantis stands out as a captivating example, often linked with technological marvels that seem almost otherworldly today. The Atlantis connection is particularly intriguing. This fabled city, first described by Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, is said to have been a powerhouse of technological sophistication with capabilities like flying machines and energy crystals. These Vimanas, as referred to in ancient Indian texts, hint at a technological kinship with Atlantis, whose advanced technology purportedly sank with the city into the ocean depths, leaving behind only the echoes of its existence in various global myths. Plato's Atlantis, a narrative crafted around 360 BC to discuss his ideals on statecraft and morality, was portrayed as an island nation beyond the Pillars of Hercules that met its doom overnight following a catastrophic disaster. Plato's account suggests that Atlantis was not just any civilization, but a dominant naval power that had conquered parts of Western Europe and Africa nearly 9,000 years before his own time, which places Atlantis firmly in the realm of the antediluvian. The city's opulence and technological advancements were extraordinary. Atlantis boasted grand palaces and temples constructed from a unique blend of red, white, and black stone, and featured sophisticated water management systems that would have been revolutionary at the time. This blend of wealth, resource management, and architectural ingenuity indicates a society that was far ahead of its contemporaries. Moreover, Atlantis's influence was not confined to its immediate geography. It established colonies and exerted cultural and political influence over distant regions, including Egypt and potentially even the Americas. This suggests a widespread dissemination of Atlantean knowledge in astronomy, mathematics, and engineering, evidenced by the architectural and technological similarities observed across these regions. This notion of a shared source of ancient knowledge is supported by similar flood stories and legends of advanced civilizations in cultures worldwide, from the Sumerian tales of Dilmun to the Hindu legends of Dwarka. These stories, echoing the catastrophic end of mighty civilizations, could very well be distant memories of real events linked to a common advanced progenitor civilization like Atlantis. Archaeological theories and speculations continue to abound, with some pointing to the Rishat structure in Mauritania, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, as a possible location for Atlantis, given its distinct concentric rings and proximity to the Atlantic. Others believe the sudden demise of the advanced Minoan civilization due to volcanic activity might have inspired the Atlantis story, creating a bridge between legend and historical facts. The leap from discussing Atlantis's potential real-world connections brings us to some fascinating comparisons with known ancient civilizations, particularly ancient Egypt and the Minoan civilization of Crete. When we examine the purported technological capabilities of antediluvian civilizations and compare them with those of ancient Egypt, the contrast is quite revealing. Ancient Egypt, with its iconic pyramids, sophisticated irrigation systems, and complex hieroglyphics, indeed showcases a high level of technological achievement. Yet if we consider the lore surrounding antediluvian societies, these were groups said to have constructed even larger and more precise pyramids and structures. The precision with which the Egyptian pyramids were built, aligning perfectly with specific celestial bodies, could suggest that their knowledge might have been influenced or even inherited from these earlier, more advanced civilizations. Another intriguing comparison can be made between the story of Atlantis and the actual history of the Minoan civilization on Crete. Both civilizations are noted for their architectural and technological sophistication. The Minoans, for instance, constructed multi-story palaces at Knossos, complete with advanced plumbing systems and vibrant frescoes that speak to a highly sophisticated society for their time. In terms of catastrophic endings, both Atlantis and the Minoan civilization share tales of sudden destruction. Atlantis is said to have disappeared beneath the waves overnight, while the Minoans faced a rapid decline following the massive volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, now known as Santorini. Additionally, the maritime capabilities of both civilizations are noteworthy. The Minoans were a dominant sea power in the Mediterranean, paralleling descriptions of Atlantis's control over the Atlantic with its formidable navy. These comparisons do more than highlight historical and archaeological parallels. They also suggest that the stories of Atlantis might have been influenced by real events that were then mythologized over the ages. The narrative of Atlantis, as crafted by Plato, may well have drawn from actual societal collapses like that of the Minoans, blending history with philosophical allegory to discuss broader human themes. Such cross-analysis not only enriches our understanding of these ancient civilizations, but also keeps alive the intrigue and speculation about how much truth might lie in the legends of lost worlds and sunken cities. The claim that these civilizations possessed technology and knowledge far beyond their time is not just a staple of ancient mythology, but a topic that continues to fascinate modern researchers. These prehistoric cultures are credited with technological feats that seem almost impossible by today's standards, particularly in areas like engineering, astronomy, and medicine. Take, for example, the engineering marvels attributed to these civilizations. They reportedly had the capability to lift and transport massive stones and align them with astronomical precision. Consider the Great Pyramid of Giza, whose perfect geometric alignments and precision in construction have led some to speculate that the knowledge to build such a structure might have been passed down from an antediluvian civilization. The ability to create such monumental structures, which have stood the test of time, speaks volumes about their engineering prowess. When it comes to astronomical knowledge, these civilizations are said to have been able to predict celestial events with remarkable accuracy. Structures like Stonehenge, with their sophisticated understanding of celestial patterns, serve as evidence of this advanced astronomical knowledge. It's theorized that many such megalithic structures were not just ceremonial spaces, but also served as astronomical observatories, providing these ancient people with insights into the cosmos that rival modern astronomical tools. The medical advancements of antediluvian civilizations are equally fascinating. There are tales of healers who could perform complex surgical procedures, effectively use medicinal plants, and perhaps even manipulate bioenergy. Such capabilities suggest a deep understanding of health and medicine that eluded later civilizations for centuries. The idea that these ancient healers had knowledge of practices and treatments that are only now being understood or rediscovered in modern medicine adds a layer of mystery and sophistication to their capabilities. Lastly, there's the intriguing concept of energy manipulation, where some theories suggest these ancient cultures had mastered forms of energy unknown to us today. This includes using sound waves to move heavy objects, a popular theory that attempts to explain how massive stone structures were constructed, or the harnessing of natural electromagnetic fields for various purposes. The potential that these civilizations had harnessed and used energy in ways that we can barely comprehend today not only adds to their mystique, but also poses questions about what other knowledge was lost in the sands of time. Delving into the myths and scriptures that discuss civilizations before a world-altering catastrophe, particularly the Great Flood, unveils a narrative filled with hints of advanced societies that existed before recorded history. Take, for instance, the Sumerian King List, an ancient manuscript that records the reigns of several kings spanning tens of thousands of years, culminating in the Flood, a pivotal event that reshaped their world. This document hints that these were no ordinary monarchs but beings with extraordinarily long lifespans and capabilities, suggesting that they hailed from civilizations with advanced knowledge and skills. Similarly, ancient Indian scriptures like the Vedas and the Puranas recount tales of prehistoric kingdoms where rulers commanded not just the loyalty of their subjects, but also wielded technologies that seem futuristic even today. They describe vimanas, or flying machines, and advanced weaponry that imply a high level of technological advancement. The Mahabharata tells the story of Manu, who survives a catastrophic flood, paralleling the biblical Noah and his ark, which further underscores the universal theme of cataclysmic floods across various cultures. These flood myths are pervasive, featuring prominently in cultures worldwide. From Utnapishtim in the Epic of Gilgamesh to Nuu in Hawaiian mythology and Deucalion in Greek mythology, these tales often center on a few survivors, forewarned and spared from the disaster that obliterates almost all life. This narrative of destruction and rebirth is a common thread linking diverse cultures and geographies, suggesting a shared human memory of a distant past where civilizations fell to great calamities. Moreover, many of these ancient narratives also talk about giants or beings with lifespans much longer than typical humans, possessing incredible strength and wisdom. These descriptions can be found from the biblical Nephilim to the Norse Jotun and the Greek Titans, often depicted as rulers or warriors with godlike attributes. This has led to fascinating theories, including the possibility that antediluvian civilizations might have had knowledge of genetic manipulation, enhancing their physical and intellectual capacities to levels far beyond what we can imagine. As we thread together these narratives and archaeological evidence, the stories of these ancient, advanced societies not only enrich our understanding of human history, but also continue to captivate our imagination with their mystery and the possibility of lost knowledge waiting to be rediscovered.
We have this curious stonework, and we also have it at Alakahoyuk in Turkey. Exactly the same kind of thing. Is this a coincidence, or is there something going on behind the scenes of history that we've not been fully informed about yet?
Perched high atop the rugged peaks of the Taurus Mountains in southeastern Turkey, the tomb of King Antiochus Theos of Commagene at Mount Nemrut beckons with the whispers of ancient secrets and celestial mysteries. Erected over 2 millennia ago, this monumental sanctuary is not only a marvel of Hellenistic engineering, but also a cryptic canvas of colossal gods and inscriptions that blend the myths of East and West. As the sun rises and sets, aligning perfectly with the stone behemoths that guard this sacred summit, the mystery deepens. What divine ambitions did this forgotten king harbor, and what secrets lie buried beneath these stone giants, silently watching over the empire of Commagene? For centuries, the towering statues of Mount Nemrut stood silently, known only to the local people who wove their existence into the fabric of local myths, calling it the throne of the gods. This mix of reverence and legend kept the site tucked away in the annals of folklore until a twist of fate brought it back into the light. In the 1880s, Karl Sester, a German road engineer working on infrastructure projects for the Ottoman Empire, stumbled upon these majestic relics not out of archaeological zeal, but through sheer happenstance. His subsequent sketches and reports were the first to unveil the grandeur of Nemrut's statues to the Western world, sparking a wave of interest among European archaeologists and historians. The rediscovery of Mount Nemrut set the stage for a series of explorations that would delve deeper into its historical and cultural contexts. Shortly after Sester, Osman Hamdi Bey, an Ottoman archaeologist and painter, conducted more systematic studies at the site. He proposed that the Grand Mound could very well be the tomb of King Antiochus III of Commagene, an idea supported by the inscriptions and formidable statues that guard the site. This period marked a significant turning point, drawing a flurry of academic expeditions that pieced together the narrative of King Antiochus I, while enriching the field of Near Eastern archaeology. The artistic styles of the statues, with their blend of Persian, Hellenistic, and indigenous elements, provide a fascinating glimpse into the cultural interplay of the Hellenistic period, post-Alexander the Great's conquests. This fusion of artistic influences offers a window into the dynamic cultural exchanges of the era, further underscoring the historical significance of southeastern Turkey as a cultural crossroads. Perched at an altitude of 2,134 meters in the rugged Taurus Mountains, Mount Nemrut commands a view that stretches vast and wide, overseeing the Euphrates River Valley. This strategic and visual dominance was no accident. It was a clear symbol of power and divine status, meticulously chosen by King Antiochus I. The site's layout, with its statues and burial mound aligned to catch the rays of the rising sun during the equinox and the setting sun at the summer solstice, underscores the solar worship prevalent during Antiochus's reign. This astronomical alignment not only highlights the king's desire to link himself with the cosmos, but also speaks volumes about the sophisticated understanding of celestial patterns by ancient civilizations. The mystical heights of Mount Nemrut in southeastern Turkey are not only a testament to ancient engineering, but also to the pioneering spirit of those who have uncovered its secrets. In 1953, American archaeologist Teresa Girl began a systematic exploration of this enigmatic site, which was particularly groundbreaking as it was one of the first major archaeological projects led by a woman. Her work, supported by institutions like the Bollingen Foundation, the American Philosophical Society, and later the National Geographic Society, was crucial for the sustained excavation and research that would follow. Despite numerous challenges, including harsh weather conditions and logistical issues in transporting equipment up the mountain, Girl's team persevered. Using traditional excavation techniques, Girl and her crew were meticulous in their approach, ensuring the integrity of every artifact and structure discovered. Their efforts unveiled not just the colossal statues, but also a series of reliefs and inscriptions that illuminated the cultural and religious life of the Kingdom of Commagene. These findings were pivotal in confirming that the tumulus was indeed the burial site of Antiochus III, aligning with earlier hypotheses about the site's purpose. As archaeological methods advanced, later explorations at Mount Nemrut incorporated technologies such as digital mapping and photogrammetry. These tools allowed archaeologists to capture high-resolution images of the site, which facilitated precise measurements and detailed records of the statues and inscriptions without risking physical damage. Techniques like ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography were also employed to probe the internal structure of the tumulus, searching for potential burial chambers or other archaeological features without the need for invasive digging. Further studies have focused on the astronomical significance of the site's layout. Researchers suggest that the arrangement of the statues may align with the rising and setting of the sun during solstices and equinoxes, hinting at these events' religious or ceremonial importance in Antiochus's ideology. From the tomb of Antiochus the Bion at Mount Nemrut to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, there lies a fascinating comparison. Both sites were built as tombs for their respective rulers, serving as monumental tributes to their power and divine status. However, while the pyramids are primarily massive stone structures designed to house the pharaoh's remains and belongings for the afterlife, Mount Nemrut combines burial purposes with a religious sanctuary, featuring colossal statues that showcase a blend of Hellenistic and Persian influences. Moreover, both sites exhibit significant astronomical alignments. The pyramids are meticulously aligned to the cardinal points, possibly reflecting celestial phenomena, while Nemrut's layout seems to focus on solar events, emphasizing the importance of astronomy in ancient religious and burial practices. This fascinating alignment hints at a deeper connection between celestial phenomena and the divine rites of ancient rulers, suggesting that these majestic sites were not only final resting places, but also key to understanding the cosmos itself. The artifacts and inscriptions unearthed at Mount Nemrut serve as crucial pieces in piecing together the reign of Antiochus the Theos and the syncretic fabric of the Commagene kingdom. It's truly fascinating how these discoveries offer deep insights into his ambitions and ideological foundations. The inscriptions on Mount Nemrut are a linguistic blend of Greek and Persian, underscoring the dual influences that shaped the kingdom. Greek served as the lingua franca of the broader Hellenistic world, while Persian reflected the local traditions and the legacy of the Achaemenid Empire from which Commagene emerged. Delving deeper into the inscriptions, they frequently include detailed genealogies that link Antiochus to deities and illustrious rulers. This not only legitimized his rule, but also positioned him as a cultural and celestial bridge. Among these, the Nomos of Antiochus inscription is particularly noteworthy. This foundational text outlined the religious and administrative laws Antiochus established, detailing ritual practices and festivals to honor him alongside the gods after his death, effectively creating a state religion that deified the king. Turning our gaze to the statues and reliefs, the iconography at Mount Nemrut is nothing short of spectacular. The statues depict Antiochus the Ta'an alongside a pantheon of gods such as Zeus Oromasdes, Apollo Mithras, and Hercules Artagnes, merging Greek and Persian divine figures. These statues are not only colossal but intricately carved from stone, showcasing a blend of artistic styles that highlight Antiochus's role as a mediator between his people and the divine. This symbolic placement elevates him to a semi-divine status, visually asserting his place in the cosmic order. An interesting parallel can be drawn between the statues at Mount Nemrut and China's terracotta army. Both serve profound funerary and commemorative purposes, standing as guardians over the afterlives of their respective rulers and as monumental tributes to their divine status. However, while the terracotta army underscores the military might of the Chinese emperor, the statues at Mount Nemrut emphasize a blend of military prowess and divine wisdom, reflecting Antiochus's unique approach to rulership. Moreover, one of the most captivating theories about Mount Nemrut concerns its astronomical alignment. Researchers suggest that the arrangement of the statues and the tumulus itself may align with astronomical phenomena such as solstices and equinoxes. This alignment might mark significant dates like Antiochus's birthday or coronation day, or served to highlight seasonal festivals that reinforced his divine kingship.
Indian culture is extremely, extremely ancient. We have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old. That is one of the mistakes in looking for a quote-unquote advanced civilization in the past, is that we tend to be looking for ourselves. Whereas it's possible for a civilization to be advanced in other ways.
Could the astonishing Kailasa temple at the Ellora Caves, carved meticulously from a single massive rock, truly be the work of mere mortal hands?
There is a particular seal that has survived, and it shows a figure which is recognizable as the god Shiva.
This ancient architectural marvel, built in the 8th century under the patronage of King Krishna of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, stands as a monument not only to devotion and artistry, but also to an engineering prowess that seems almost superhuman.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly.
With its elaborate carvings and grand scale, the Kailasa temple has sparked a captivating debate. Was this colossal structure really constructed using primitive tools of the age, or does it bear evidence of intervention by an advanced civilization, possibly beyond our earthly realm?
Some people think that the answer is extraterrestrial visitors. I don't think that's the answer, but who knows?
Tucked away in the basaltic hills of Maharashtra, the Ellora Caves complex is an architectural marvel of ancient India. Spanning from 600 to 1000 AD, these caves house a remarkable blend of Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain heritage. Among them, Cave 16, better known as the Kailasa Temple, stands out as the crowning glory of the site. Historically referred to as Veral, the area's location along ancient north-south trade routes undoubtedly played a critical role in its development. The Kailasa Temple, known for being the largest monolithic rock excavation in the world, showcases the advanced state of engineering and architectural skills during the 8th century. This temple was not built but rather carved top-down from a single massive rock, requiring meticulous planning and execution that speaks volumes about the capabilities of its creators.
There are unexplained issues in our past, which are presently not explained by the system that teaches us about the past.
Under the patronage of King Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, the temple was commissioned around the mid-8th century. King Krishna I, also known as Krishna Rajanram, embarked on this ambitious project to emulate the sacred Mount Kailash, the mythological abode of Lord Shiva. The temple not only served as a place of worship, but also as a demonstration of the power and artistic aspiration of the Rashtrakutas. During a period of British colonial expansion in India, British officers often ventured on expeditions for leisure and exploration. It was during one such excursion that the lush, overgrown vegetation of the Maharashtra region, which had concealed the Ellora Caves for centuries, finally gave way to one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in India.
A lot of archaeology that gets done doesn't get done because of a targeted search.
The year was 1819, and the caves, untouched and perfectly preserved as if in a time capsule, were stumbled upon accidentally by Captain John Smith and his party. The discovery by Captain Smith wasn't merely about uncovering a lost site, it was a revelation that peeled back the layers of India's rich and ancient civilization, which had thrived long before European powers set foot in the region. As Smith entered the caves, he was confronted with the grandeur of India's past, an intact cultural heritage that spoke volumes of its historical depth and complexity. However, Captain Smith left behind more than just the memory of his discovery. In what is now viewed as an act of historical vandalism, he inscribed his name and the date on a pillar inside Cave 10. At the time, such actions were common among explorers, who often left their marks as records of their presence. This graffiti, though frowned upon today, provided a tangible record marking the European discovery of the site and has since become a point of contention in discussions about heritage preservation versus the historical markers of colonial exploration. Following this accidental discovery, there was a renewed interest in the Ellora Caves, leading to more systematic explorations and excavations. The Archaeological Survey of India, established in 1861, took on the mammoth task of excavating and preserving these ancient sites. Their efforts were crucial in maintaining the structural integrity and historical accuracy of the caves as they faced the dual pressures of time and increasing tourism. Detailed studies and documentation efforts were spearheaded by early explorers and scholars like James Burgess and later Ghulam Yazdani. Their meticulous work in cataloguing the sculptures, iconography, and architectural styles has been compiled into extensive reports and books, which remain invaluable resources for Indological studies today. This comprehensive documentation helps ensure that the Ellora Caves, including the magnificent Kailasa Temple, continue to be understood and appreciated not just as monuments, but as gateways to India's illustrious past. The Kailasa Temple, also known as Cave 16 at the Ellora Caves, truly stands as a testament to the ancient mastery of rock-cut architecture. This stunning structure isn't just a testament to grandeur, but also to a unique construction methodology that melds religious devotion with unmatched craftsmanship. Unlike traditional buildings constructed from the ground up, this temple was carved directly out of a single massive rock, a process that required not only extreme labor but also precise planning. The effort to remove approximately 200,000 tons of rock from the site underscores the monumental human endeavor that went into its creation, likely involving hundreds, if not thousands, of laborers across several generations.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization, of prehistory.
Symbolically, the temple mirrors Mount Kailasa, the mythical abode of Lord Shiva, suggesting that the architects intended to create a heavenly abode on Earth. This ambition is evident not just in the temple's scale, but also in its elaborate multi-storied design, which features a rare vertical expansion in rock-cut architecture. Each floor is intricately adorned with carvings and statues that bring to life stories from Hindu mythology, especially those focusing on Lord Shiva, enhancing both the religious and aesthetic appeal of the temple. Comparing the Kailasa Temple to the ancient city of Petra in Jordan highlights its unique features. While Petra is renowned for its impressive facades carved into rock faces, the Kailasa Temple goes a step further. It is not just a facade, but a complete excavation, with intricate vertical carvings that make its interiors as spectacular as its exteriors. Unlike Petra's relatively plain interiors, the Kailasa Temple is elaborately detailed, with entire floors, columns, and ceilings that are ornately decorated to reflect Hindu religious themes. The engineering behind the Kailasa Temple also addresses some significant challenges, such as maintaining structural integrity while removing massive volumes of rock. The architects and engineers employed their deep understanding of geology and engineering to ensure the stability and durability of the remaining structures. They even incorporated an ingenious drainage system to prevent water accumulation and erosion during the region's heavy monsoon seasons. Moreover, strategic placements of openings and alignments within the temple structure allow natural light to flood its interiors, enhancing the spiritual and aesthetic experience for visitors. The layout also facilitates the circulation of air and movement of devotees, crucial during religious ceremonies. These intriguing aspects of the Kailasa Temple, combined with the mysteries surrounding its construction, have fueled various theories about its origins and the techniques used in its elaborate design. From theories suggesting extraterrestrial influence to speculations about advanced ancient technologies or a network of secret chambers, the temple continues to be a subject of fascination and scholarly debate.
I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
These discussions not only celebrate the architectural genius of the temple's creators, but also deepen our appreciation for this ancient marvel. Exploring the mysteries of the Kailasa Temple at a more refined level reveals a range of fascinating theories that try to explain its incredible construction. One such theory suggests that the technology and precision required for its creation in the 8th century might hint at extraterrestrial influence or the use of advanced ancient technology that has since been lost. While this idea captivates the imagination, most scholars and archaeologists believe that the temple's construction was well within the capabilities of human ingenuity at the time, pointing to similar rock-cutting techniques used across India long before the temple was built. Another intriguing theory about the Kailasa Temple involves the possibility of a network of secret tunnels and chambers beneath the complex. Local legends and some speculative reports suggest that these could have served as passages for religious ceremonies or as escape routes during invasions. However, thorough archaeological investigations have yet to confirm these claims, and the natural rocky terrain of the area makes such an extensive network rather unlikely. The alignment of the Kailasa temple with celestial bodies forms yet another theory. Some believe that the temple, like many ancient structures, was designed in alignment with certain stars or planets to harness cosmic energies during significant astronomical events such as solstices and equinoxes. While there are notable celestial alignments at other ancient sites that lend some support to this theory, concrete evidence linking the Kailasa temple's orientation with celestial events remains elusive. As these theories continue to pique curiosity and scholarly debate, the significance of preserving such a monumental site has never been clearer. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Longyu Caves, including the Kailasa Temple, are the focus of ongoing preservation efforts. These efforts are crucial in protecting the site's intricate carvings and magnificent structures from both natural elements and the impacts of modern-day tourism, ensuring that this ancient marvel can be appreciated for generations to come.
It was the view, very firm view of archaeologists, that there had been no megalithic architecture. And when I say megalithic, I mean literally big stones, stone circles, huge constructions, nothing like that before 6,000 years ago. Central to my work was the notion of a global cataclysm, roughly 12,500, 12,800 years ago. They are not saying that it also wiped out a lost advanced civilization of prehistory. I'm saying that.
In the heart of Lebanon's Bekaa Valley lies an ancient wonder that defies the sands of time, the Baalbek Temple Complex.
This is Baalbek in the Lebanon. Each of these 3 blocks weighs 900 tons.
Home to some of the largest and most mysterious stone blocks ever used in construction, these colossal remnants of the Roman Empire's grandeur weigh as much as 1,650 tons each, more than an entire fleet of blue whales. How these stones were transported and precisely set into place remains one of history's most captivating puzzles.
I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level.
Join us as we delve into the enigmatic world of Baalbek, where ancient engineering meets modern curiosity, challenging everything we thought we knew about human ingenuity.
A Roman site for sure, but what about this bizarre enclosure wall that surrounds it?
Nestled in the fertile Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, the ancient site of Baalbek is a testament to architectural and cultural grandeur spanning thousands of years. Known as Heliopolis during the Hellenistic period, Baalbek's journey began as a modest Phoenician town named Baalath, dedicated to the worship of Baal, a god associated with the sun and storms, pivotal to the agricultural rituals of its people. The transformation of Baalbek accelerated following its conquest by Alexander the Great in 334 BC. Under Alexander, the city absorbed Greek cultural and architectural elements, emblematic of his broader strategy to fuse Greek and local traditions across the regions he conquered. This Hellenistic influence set the stage for Baalbek's later architectural evolution under the Romans, who saw the city's strategic and religious potential.
What archaeologists say, they found they could move 900-ton blocks, but 1,000 tons was too much for them.
Roman architects and engineers embarked on an ambitious construction agenda in the 1st century BC, which saw Baalbek grow into a grand ceremonial center. The centerpiece was the Temple of Jupiter, one of the largest temples in the Roman Empire, featuring 54 massive granite columns, each standing 70 feet tall. Today, only 6 of these majestic columns remain, but they continue to dominate the landscape, offering a window into what was an architectural marvel of the ancient world. Nearby, the Temple of Bacchus stands as a testament to Roman decorative art and architectural detail, with its well-preserved carvings depicting mythological scenes and festivities. Not far from these, the Temple of Venus showcases a unique circular design, breaking from traditional Roman architectural norms and highlighting a syncretic blend of Roman and local religious practices. Baalbek's construction feats, especially the transportation and placement of massive limestone blocks, draw parallels with other ancient marvels like the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge, showcasing the Romans' advanced engineering techniques.
Look at the famous King's Chamber. Its walls and its ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic blocks.
The site was not just an architectural statement, but also a cultural hub, attracting pilgrims and spectators from across the empire to its religious festivals and games. blending Roman and local traditions in grand displays of public celebration. In comparison to other monumental Roman sites like the Pantheon in Rome, Baalbek stands out for its scale and the complexity involved in erecting such gigantic structures far from the Roman heartland. The Pantheon, with its massive dome and oculus, reflects similar ambitions in Roman architectural prowess, but in a vastly different urban setting. Both sites, however, illustrate the Roman Empire's architectural ambition and its ability to mobilize resources and technology across its vast territories. The stone blocks of Baalbek, particularly within the Temple of Jupiter complex, represent some of the most astonishing elements of ancient architecture found anywhere in the world. These massive stones serve as a testament to the extraordinary engineering prowess of their builders. Their construction techniques and capabilities continue to spark both fascination and scholarly debate. At the heart of the complex sits the trilithon, a trio of stone blocks that form the podium of the Temple of Jupiter. Each stone measures roughly 64 feet in length, 13 feet in height, and 14 feet in width and weighs about 800 tons. The precision with which these gigantic stones are fitted together, without any mortar, is truly remarkable. Such an engineering feat required not only advanced planning and ample resources, but also the ingenious use of simple machines like levers and inclined planes, combined with significant human and mechanical effort. Just about 900 meters from the main temple complex, in a nearby quarry, lies the Stone of the Pregnant Woman.
The quarry contains a number of very large blocks that were never transported.
This monolith, approximately 69 feet long and weighing around 1,000 tons, has never been moved from where it was originally cut. The stone's name comes from a local legend suggesting that touching the stone can ensure a safe and easy delivery for pregnant women, highlighting the cultural and superstitious significance these ancient stones hold within local folklore. In 2014, an even larger stone was unearthed in the same quarry.
Why only recently excavated? Because the whole site was covered in sedimentation.
At 64 feet in length and estimated to weigh about 1,650 tons, it stands as the largest known stone ever carved by human hands. This discovery significantly expanded our understanding of the capabilities of ancient engineers and their technological advancements. Comparing these megalithic stones to other ancient wonders provides further context to their impressive nature. For instance, while Stonehenge in England is renowned for its circular arrangement of standing stones, the largest of these stones weighs merely about 30 tons, far less than the massive blocks of Baalbek. The construction of Stonehenge involved transporting stones over long distances, presenting a different type of logistical challenge and ingenuity. However, the sheer scale and weight of the Baalbek stones showcase an unparalleled architectural ambition in the ancient world. Similarly, when we consider the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, the limestone blocks typically weigh between 2 to 15 tons, with the largest granite stones in the King's Chamber weighing between 25 to 80 tons.
Now, Egyptologists will tell you that, they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand and they push them along on wet sand. Maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do, but when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all.
The stones of Baalbek far exceed these in size, highlighting the unique challenges and skills required for their transport and placement. Unlike the primarily tomb-like structures of the Giza pyramids, Baalbek's temples served ceremonial and religious functions, indicating diverse uses of massive stones across ancient civilizations. This comparison not only illustrates the monumental scale of Baalbek's construction, but also underscores the diverse architectural and cultural expressions of ancient societies. The Baalbek temple complex, with its colossal stone blocks, stands as one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world. The tasks involved in constructing this monumental site weren't just about brute strength. They required meticulous planning, advanced organizational skills, and a deep understanding of physics and engineering principles. These elements combined challenge our modern perceptions of ancient technology and showcase the ingenuity of our ancestors. The architectural grandeur of Baalbek was no accident. It reflected the Roman Empire's immense ambition and its desire to display power and divine favor. The sheer scale of the temples served multiple purposes, both religious and political, reinforcing the might of Rome and the sanctity of the location. This complex was designed to awe and affirm the presence of Roman authority in the region. The transportation of the massive stones is believed to have been primarily conducted using rollers made from large tree trunks, with the stones themselves placed on sledges. These sledges, acting as platforms, helped distribute the weight of the stones and prevented the rollers from sinking into the ground. Historical texts even mention the use of olive oil as a lubricant on the paths, a technique that significantly reduced friction, making it easier to move these enormous weights over considerable distances. The placement of these giant stones remains a subject of debate among historians. Techniques such as the use of wooden cranes, which were similar to those used in medieval constructions, likely played a role. These cranes, utilizing ropes, pulleys, and possibly treadwheels, would have amplified the force exerted by humans or animals. Another plausible technique involved constructing large earth ramps, which would have provided a gradual incline to drag the stones into their precise positions. Lever systems employing long wooden beams to lift and position stones might have also been used, requiring less material than ramps, but a greater understanding of leverage mechanics. Drawing parallels, the construction techniques theorized for Baalbek closely resemble those hypothesized for the building of the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Pyramid of Giza. Like Baalbek, the transportation of the pyramid stones likely involved sledges and possibly rollers, with the use of water as a lubricant depicted in ancient Egyptian wall paintings. For lifting, the Egyptians are believed to have utilized a combination of ramps and lever systems. Constructed over a millennium before Baalbek, the pyramids highlight a continuity in complex engineering techniques that span cultures and ages, underscoring a shared architectural heritage in the ancient world. This shared legacy speaks volumes about the ingenuity embedded in ancient construction practices, linking disparate cultures through their monumental achievements.
Have you ever imagined stumbling upon a city lost to time, hidden beneath the earth for centuries?
Large cities flourished in the Amazon. Enormous cities.
When you have written documents that have survived, if you can translate those documents, you can begin to get a fair sense of how history was unfolding. It's a very treacherous and dangerous place to be.
Can you just imagine what other mysteries lie in await of human discovery with all the untouched areas of the world?
Explorations and archaeological discoveries in jungle environments have significantly expanded our understanding of ancient civilizations. These lush, often formidable environments have hidden the remnants of societies from the prying eyes of modern civilization until relatively recently. But now, with newer technologies, we are able to look into these jungles without having to venture on foot. The lost city of the monkey god, also known as La Ciudad Blanca or the White City, has been shrouded in mystery and legend for centuries. Tucked away in the dense and nearly impassable jungles of the Mosquitia region in Honduras, this enigmatic city captured the imagination of explorers, historians, and archaeologists who dreamed of uncovering a forgotten civilization. It first came into the limelight with aerial photographs in 1939 suggesting its existence, but it was not until the use of LiDAR technology in 2012 that significant discoveries were made. LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging, uses laser light to map the ground below dense forest canopies, revealing hidden structures like plazas, mounds, and an impressive pyramid, which confirmed the presence of a major pre-Columbian settlement. Further explorations on the ground uncovered stone sculptures with Maya-like iconography, intricate terraces likely used for agriculture, and large communal plazas, all suggesting a bustling ancient community. The architecture seen here, especially the pyramid, aligns with traditional Mesoamerican styles, indicating a complex society that once thrived in what is now a remote and difficult-to-access area. The city's location, deep within the Mosquitia's diverse yet hostile rainforests, shielded it from modern looters and remained a daunting challenge for archaeologists due to the harsh conditions. Local myths have added to the allure of La Ciudad Blanca, with tales suggesting the area is protected by supernatural forces and cursed, a narrative possibly rooted in the indigenous reverence for their spiritual and cultural heritage. This has given rise to various names for the city, including the City of the Monkey God, where legend has it that a giant simian deity resided. The comparison of this site to Machu Picchu, discovered by Hiram Bingham in 1911, highlights stark differences. While Machu Picchu's high Andean location and dry climate helped preserve its structures, La Ciudad Blanca faces the relentless forces of a wet jungle that rapidly degrades man-made constructions and is fraught with perilous wildlife and diseases, making explorations particularly risky. Despite these challenges, La Ciudad Blanca is as much an ecological treasure as it is an archaeological one. Positioned in a largely untouched jungle area, it plays a vital role in local biodiversity. The ongoing explorations are slowly unraveling the complexities of Mesoamerican cultures and their interconnectedness, providing valuable insights into how ancient civilizations managed to adapt and flourish in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Each discovery at this site contributes essential pieces to our understanding of human history in the Americas, promising more revelations from this mystical city as research continues. Machu Picchu, often hailed as the lost city of the Incas, is a marvel of ancient engineering and design, first brought to global attention by historian Hiram Bingham in 1911. This well-preserved site, nestled between the Andean mountain peaks of Peru and above the Urubamba River Valley, offers not only breathtaking views but also a window into the sophisticated society of the Incas. The city's layout and the assembly of its buildings, large stone blocks cut and fitted together without mortar using a technique known as ashlar, reflect a high degree of architectural skill and understanding of seismic structural integrity, important in the earthquake-prone Andes. The urban design of Machu Picchu includes distinct residential, religious, and agricultural zones, optimally arranged to use the steep terrain to their advantage. Among its most significant structures are the Intihuatana stone, believed to have served as an astronomical clock or calendar, the Temple of the Sun, whose circular construction is aligned with the solstices, and the Room of the Three Windows, which holds cosmological importance and is positioned to catch the first rays of morning light. Thought to have been built in the 15th century as a retreat for Inca Emperor Pachacuti, Machu Picchu resembles more a royal estate than a city. It was a place for nobles, priests, and servants, with over 150 buildings from baths and houses to temples and sanctuaries, serving a variety of residential and ceremonial purposes. Its secluded location high above the Sacred Valley also kept it hidden from the Spanish conquistadors, preserving its mysteries until the early 20th century. The surrounding area of Machu Picchu is as ecologically diverse as it is visually stunning. Situated on the eastern slopes of the Andes and bordering the Amazon rainforest, it is home to a myriad of flora and fauna, some of which are endemic to the region. This biodiversity adds to the site's mystical allure and historical intrigue. Today, as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu draws hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. However, this popularity comes at a cost. The site faces significant preservation challenges due to the heavy foot traffic, prompting efforts to limit the number of visitors each day to protect its structural integrity and historical significance for future generations to appreciate and study. Moving on deep into the jungle, El Mirador, nestled in the Maya Biosphere Reserve in Guatemala, was rediscovered in 1926 and has been a goldmine of information on the pre-classic Maya civilization ever since. Flourishing from the 6th century BC to the 1st century AD, this ancient city's monumental architecture rivals even those from later Maya periods, offering a deep dive into the sophistication of early Maya engineers and architects. The city is perhaps best known for La Danta Temple, one of the largest pyramids in the world by volume. This massive structure stands about 70 meters tall and covers nearly 7 acres at its base. Its size and the effort required to build it are a testament to the advanced organizational skills of the Maya. Constructing La Danta involved quarrying and transporting enormous quantities of stone and earth, demanding a sophisticated understanding of engineering and logistics. The temple likely served as a central hub for rituals and community gatherings, playing a vital role in the religious and ceremonial life of El Mirador. Another significant structure, El Tigre, stands nearly 55 meters high and serves as a symbol of Maya religious and political power. Positioned strategically within the city, it likely hosted various communal and ceremonial activities, possibly even aligning with astronomical events. The Triadic Pyramids, unique to El Mirador and similar pre-classic cities, feature a large central pyramid flanked by 2 smaller ones, all on a single platform. This configuration might have represented a sacred trio of Maya deities and was crucial for the city's spiritual life. El Mirador's urban planning was also remarkably sophisticated, with an intricate network of causeways known as sac bays, linking major city structures. These are among the earliest known roads in the Americas and highlight the city's advanced urban planning capabilities. Large plazas were central to public life, hosting gatherings and ceremonies, and the city's extensive water management systems, including reservoirs and canals, were essential for sustaining its large population. Comparing El Mirador's architecture to other ancient wonders, such as the Egyptian Pyramid of Khufu at Giza, offers some perspective on their monumental scale. Although the Great Pyramid is taller, La Danta's base covers a larger area, reflecting different architectural focuses and social uses between these two civilizations. While the Maya utilized horizontal layers of stone and packed earth, the Egyptians built with large limestone blocks, each method showcasing the unique engineering insights and materials preferred by these cultures. Another ancient discovery would be Tikal in Guatemala. It's not just another ancient city, it's a beacon that illuminates the rich tapestry of the ancient Maya civilization. Discovered for the Western world by Ambrosio Tut in 1848, and now part of the Tikal National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979, this sprawling archaeological site has been pivotal in understanding the complexities of Maya society. Its grand temples and palaces echo the architectural brilliance and urban planning acumen of a civilization that knew how to mold its environment to its needs. The city itself is a marvel of design, featuring some of the tallest temples ever erected by the Maya, set against a backdrop of dense Central American jungle. These structures are linked by an extensive network of raised stone pathways or causeways, which facilitated essential aspects of city life such as trade, military movements, and public communication. One of the standout structures is Temple 4, which soars about 70 meters into the sky, making it one of the tallest pre-Columbian buildings in the Americas. From its peak, one could easily survey the sprawling cityscape and the encroaching jungle beyond. At the city's core lies the Great Plaza, flanked by temples Lapan and the Two, and surrounded by the north and central acropolises. This plaza was the ceremonial heart of Tikal, pulsating with the energy of myriad public gatherings and rituals. Temple Waz, known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, was built as a monumental tomb for King Jasar Chankawil, one of Tikal's most revered rulers. Directly across from it stands Temple 2, or the Temple of the Masks, believed to have been erected by the king's wife to honor his legacy, suggesting intriguing aspects of gender and power within royal circles. When compared to Teotihuacan in Mexico, with its rigid urban grid and massive pyramids like the pyramids of the Sun and the Moon, Tikal presents a contrasting image. Its city plan harmoniously blends into its jungle environment, and its temples reach towards the sky as if to touch the divine. This difference in architectural philosophy highlights the diversity in Mesoamerican urban planning and religious expression. Preserving such a magnificent site is no small feat. Tikal's remote location and humid tropical climate pose continuous threats from vegetation overgrowth and structural decay, challenging conservationists who must tread the fine line between maintaining archaeological integrity and supporting the natural ecosystem that has reclaimed these ruins. Through ongoing excavation and research, it remains a crucial site for archaeologists and historians eager to delve deeper into the pre-Columbian past of the Americas, offering new stories and insights that gradually piece together the complex mosaic of human history in this lush region.
If you have a relatively short time frame to deal with, then searching for a lost civilization becomes much more complex and much more difficult. But if you have a very long time frame to deal with, there's much more material to investigate.
Was the city of Petra always known as Petra? From the Bible, we learn that the oldest name for Petra is Seir.
Beneath the rose-red cliffs of Petra, an ancient city carved into sandstone holds mysteries that have puzzled scientists for centuries.
First organization of human beings that deserve to be called a civilization.
Recent discoveries in this lost city have surprised experts, challenging our understanding of ancient civilizations. As shadows reveal new celestial alignments on the grand facades and columns during the equinox, we are left wondering, what secrets do the stones of Petra still hold?
I don't think we're looking at coincidence here. There's too much going on. I think coincidence is a very weak explanation for what's happening.
The story of Petra, often called the Lost City, stretches back to as early as the 4th century BCE, when it was founded and rose to prominence by the 1st century BCE as the capital of the Nabatean kingdom. Nestled in the cliffs of vibrant red, white, pink and sandstone, Petra was at the heart of a bustling trade empire. Its strategic location on the spice trade routes connected it with far-flung regions from China and India to southern Arabia, and on to Egypt, Syria, Greece and Rome.
You go to Egypt and you'll find influence of the Nabateans. Everywhere we look, we find some reference at some time to the Nabateans.
The city thrived not just commercially but culturally and architecturally, demonstrating advanced techniques in water conservation. Its engineers crafted an intricate system of dams, cisterns and water channels that sustained both the city's population and its agriculture through harsh desert conditions. However, following its annexation by Rome in 106 CE, Petra began to experience a slow decline. Initially, it flourished under Roman influence, but as trade routes shifted towards the sea and devastating earthquakes struck in the 4th and 6th centuries, the city gradually lost its former glory. By the time the Islamic conquests swept through in the 7th century, Petra was reduced to a shadow of its former self, mainly inhabited by a few local Bedouin tribes who lived among the ruins and closely guarded its secrets. Throughout the Middle Ages and well into the 18th century, Petra remained enveloped in obscurity, particularly to the Western world. The Crusaders controlled the region briefly in the 12th century and even established a fortress there, but knowledge of Petra's once grandeur was limited to local tribes and a few knowledgeable Arab scholars. The renowned 14th century explorer Ibn Battuta mentioned Petra during his travels, describing it as a remote place with buildings impressively carved into rock faces. This period in Petra's history mirrors that of another ancient city, Machu Picchu in Peru, which also remained hidden from Western awareness until its rediscovery in 1911 by Hiram Bingham. Both cities were advanced in manipulating their natural environments, Petra with its sophisticated water management systems, and Machu Picchu with its terraced fields and intricate urban planning. The prolonged European ignorance of Petra lasted until the 19th century, with the region fading into the realm of myth and legend. Many in Europe were completely unaware of Petra's existence, despite ancient texts hinting at the architectural marvels that lay hidden in the Jordanian mountains. This mystery persisted until explorers reintroduced Petra to the Western world, bridging the gap between ancient lore and modern recognition. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, born in 1784, was a Swiss traveler and scholar whose profound curiosity and academic prowess led him to significant contributions towards the Western understanding of lost or lesser-known ancient sites. Mastering multiple languages and immersing himself in various cultures, Burckhardt developed a particular fascination with Petra, an ancient city whose whereabouts had slipped from European knowledge. In preparation for his explorations within the Ottoman Empire, Burckhardt relocated to London in 1806, where he joined the African Association, an organization committed to the exploration and mapping of Africa. He further honed his expertise at Cambridge University, studying Arabic, geography, and the cultures of the Middle East. It was here that he meticulously constructed his alter ego, Sheikh Ibrahim ibn Abdallah. This identity was not just a cover to mask his European roots and exploratory motives, it was a deep dive into cultural assimilation, allowing him safer passage and a more authentic experience in predominantly Muslim territories. Burckhardt's journey to Petra began in 1812, framed as a pilgrimage to sacrifice at the tomb of the prophet Aaron on Mount Hor, which cleverly concealed his true intent to locate and document Petra. He had pieced together clues of the lost city from discussions with local traders and vague references in ancient manuscripts. His travels from Syria to the Arabian Peninsula were fraught with challenges, from regional conflicts to the unforgiving desert landscape. Yet his guise as an Islamic scholar provided him crucial cover. Upon his arrival in Petra, Burckhardt was met with the breathtaking view of the Sikh, a narrow gorge stretching over a kilometer, flanked by towering walls as high as 80 meters. This passage led him to Petra's most famous and enigmatic structure, Al-Khazne, or the Treasury. Carved directly into the blush-colored sandstone cliffs, its facade displayed an exquisite blend of Nabatean, Greek, and Roman architectural elements. Petra's entrance, known as the Sikh, is far more than just a gateway. It's an architectural wonder in its own right. This narrow gorge, carved directly from the towering sandstone cliffs, stretches for about 1.2 kilometers and varies in width from a mere 3 to 16 meters. As you walk through, the walls, which soar to heights of over 80 meters, dramatically frame your approach, guiding you towards the heart of Petra, ending at the magnificent Al-Khazna. Along the Sikh, you'll notice a series of ancient water channels, a testament to the Nabateans' advanced hydraulic engineering skills. They devised these systems to capture and conserve the scarce desert rainwater. The strategic narrowness of the Sikh also offered a natural defense mechanism, much like the historic pass of Thermopylae in Greece, providing a fortified barrier against potential invaders. At the end of the Sikh stands Al-Khazna, or the Treasury, which, despite its name, was likely built as a mausoleum or temple around the 1st century CE. This iconic structure is renowned for its stunning facade, decorated with a blend of Hellenistic architectural elements and native Nabatean motifs. It features a grand portico supported by 6 Corinthian columns and is adorned with intricate bas-reliefs, including depictions of Castor and Pollux, twin brothers who were revered in mythology for their role in protection and safety. The urn perched atop the facade fueled local legends, with Bedouins believing it concealed ancient treasures, hence the name the Treasury. This blend of myth and architecture draws parallels to the ornately decorated temples of the Egyptian pharaohs, which were also rich in cultural and mythological significance. Petra's architectural landscape is a rich mosaic of influences, reflecting its historical significance as a cultural and trading hub. The city's structures blend Nabatean rock-cut artistry with classical Greek, Roman, and later Byzantine styles. This fusion is visible not just on the facades but throughout the city's layout, which includes a Roman-style colonnaded street and a theatre capable of holding over 3,000 spectators. Carved directly from the rock, Petra's theatre echoes the design of ancient Greek theatres such as Epidaurus, yet it is uniquely Nabatean in its execution, showcasing their extraordinary skill in stone carving. This architectural diversity highlights the city's role as a melting pot of various civilizations throughout history, each leaving their mark on its stones and streets. Among the monumental structures in Petra, the monastery known as Ad-Dair stands out for its architectural splendor akin to that of the Treasury, yet it occupies a more secluded and solemn location. The journey to reach the monastery is an adventure in itself, involving a challenging climb of over 800 steps carved directly into the rock, which naturally limits the number of casual tourists who visit. Originally constructed as a Nabatean temple in the 3rd century BCE, the structure was later repurposed as a Christian chapel during the Byzantine period. Its facade, adorned with a massive urn and framed by towering columns, rivals the grandeur of the Parthenon in Athens. However, the isolation of the monastery adds a layer of spiritual retreat, contrasting with the civic pride of the Parthenon. Petra's allure as a mysterious and adventurous location was catapulted into popular culture by its appearance in the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The movie features Petra's treasury as the fictional entrance to the final resting place of the Holy Grail, which not only captured the imaginations of viewers worldwide, but also significantly boosted tourism to the site. This depiction in the film perfectly aligned with the themes of discovery and exploration, underscoring how media can dramatically shape the perception and economic realities of archaeological sites.